STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, problem-based learning. These are the concepts that are important in education today. The annual Cardboard Canoe Race at Firestone is going to show those concepts in action. The students will be given an open-ended problem, a common bill of material, and be asked to create their winning boat. The concepts: buoyancy, displacement, center of mass, force. This shows them the application of those concepts, the answer to a real-world problem. Welcome to the annual Cardboard Canoe Race at Firestone High School, sponsored by Project Lead the Way, the pre-engineering program.
Welcome to the second annual boat race and the 14th in total. I'm here with Charlie Gruler, and he's going to take a second to explain the rules.
Yes, hi, I'm Charlie Gruler, and the rules for today's event are going to be themed around the Matrix movie, if you've ever seen that. So the boats will travel in an M pattern across the pool. They're going to pick up medicine balls as they go along, or pick up foam balls that they can throw at targets. Either one of those objectives can reduce your time score. Obviously, it doesn't reduce the amount of time it actually takes. So you have a choice there for what you want to do, if you want to weigh your boat down and continue on your path, or take a ball that gives you a chance at a greater time reduction. So there's a bit of strategy at play here, and each of the teams has built a cardboard boat that they will race through the water in that pattern. And
I believe our first team is actually just getting ready to go up.
Yes.
It's a team that consists of Jamari, Andrew, Ashley, and Maria. They are 10th graders here at Firestone High School under the direction of Mr. Spak, and their team name is the Jam Jams.
Yes, so you'll see their boat entering the water right now. We'll explain the rules again as you see them going through, so you get a visual with the explanation, because it's a little difficult to explain when you don't really see what's going on. But you'll see Maria and Jamari are now getting into the boat. Not the entire team goes into the boat, only a few of them. And you'll see they happen to be the ones wearing the bathing suits, because there's no guarantee that your boat stays up, and if you sink, you don't want to be wet in your jeans. So, and they're off.
And there they go.
So you'll see they're taking the first leg of the journey. They're headed towards the first station, where they will grab one of the two options of balls. And they're having a little bit of trouble steering, actually.
If you notice, they actually have a tiny little American flag on their boat.
They do. They do.
I just noticed that.
You'll see
nice
a lot of
addition.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of teams have some kind of accoutrement mounted on their boat to give it a little bit of a flair, a little intrigue.
All right,
so they've opted to take the foam ball. So at that junction, you can opt to take the medicine ball or the foam ball, and you will either throw the foam ball at the targets, or you will weigh yourself down with the medicine ball. If you're confident in the construction of your boat, the medicine ball shouldn't be that much of a problem. But I think we'll see a lot of teams opt for the foam ball, so as not to add that much extra weight and potentially start filling their boat up with water.
Oh, it looks like it's just starting to go over. It looks like they're almost. Looks like it's starting to go down, but we'll see.
Yes, you'll see that the boat has progressively gotten lower in the water level as time has gone on, but they're still floating.
Well, what you'll notice that's cool is they actually have the front of their boat is actually pointed in, so they constructed it at an angle.
Yeah, that'll give you an easier time floating through the water. It'll sort of cut away the water's edge and make it so that you have to exert less force to push the water away.
I think they're going to make it through.
I'm confident that they have a pretty good chance if they keep up this steady pace and don't panic. I think they've got a good shot at making it all the way through.
They're going to try to go for the targets. See if they make it.
Let's see.
So they go through.
They made one.
They
missed the second.
And third miss.
Miss on the third. So you'll see the cardboard boxes, while they may look as if they're just sort of placed there, they've actually been positioned in a way that you have multiple different options while throwing. You can throw into one of the bigger targets, or you can aim for a smaller target to get an even larger time decrease. So you'll see they're blowing past. They just have to make it back to the starting point, and that will conclude their run. Unless something catastrophic happens, I don't see them not making it all the way through. And that's a good sign to see the first boat doing successfully, I think.
Yeah, they made it through. I think this is going to be a herald for a good rest of the day. A lot of other boats making it through.
Indeed, I sure hope so. I like to see boats be successful, although there is some enjoyment in seeing a boat slowly sink to the bottom of the pool. Is that sadistic of me? Who knows? So,
who's next up on the schedule? Hire 1.
So this will be the first hire team to go throughout the day, and I think we've got the forms over there for them.
Here are the forms. All right, let's see who's on this team. We have Allison Kramer, Sydney Craig, Shannon Fasnacht, and those are the only people on the team. They are all in the 8th grade under the direction of Mr. Watts at Higher CLC. Their team name is SSA.
I don't know what that stands for.
I'm not entirely sure either.
I
couldn't
I think it's the first initials of their name. You've got S for Sydney, S for Shannon, and A for Allison.
It is. That's a good one. Yeah.
It is indeed.
Yeah. They actually. Let's see here. What's some interesting facts? A lot of the people want to go to the University of Akron here for a variety of different things, like psychology or animal studies and or crime and justice. Actually, 2 of the people out of the 3 on this team said they were interested in crime and justice.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All 3 of them will be in the boat, so you'll see a couple more people in the boat. Frankly, we'll see boats throughout the day that'll range, I think, from 1 at the minimum to 4 at the maximum. The whole team getting in the boat. And I think there's upsides and downsides to all of the options there. But this second team is now off. You'll see they've opted for a more rectangular design, but the walls are higher, which means that if their boat starts to leak, they have a longer time before they really go under. So that gives them an advantage, I think, there. Although with the odd number of people, they're struggling to keep a straight path along the way.
Yes, that is a challenge. When you have an odd number of people, with the third person rowing, it adds an extra force on one side, which kind of causes it to turn.
Yes, sir.
Unless the person on the other side is paddling extra hard. So we'll probably see some more people struggle with that throughout the day.
Yes. With the higher walls, they've actually opted to take the medicine ball at the first station. I think we'll see them start to take all the medicine balls, actually.
I believe it's one or the other at all the stations.
Yes, you get to choose one, and you'll take all 3 of those. So it's interesting. First time we saw the foam balls, and now we're seeing the medicine balls. And I think we'll get to see the upsides and downsides of each of those strategies. See what the medicine balls entails for a team when you've got all 3 of those weights, and what the foam balls entails for a team when you've got to pause, still your boat, and then throw the balls into the goals.
When I first heard about this, my first question is, who's getting the medicine balls off of the bottom of the pool?
That is a good question. We've got some people in the water full time. You'll see Joe Garrow and Joshua George over there in the pool, and I think they'll be the ones who will have to rescue the medicine balls if a boat is going down. But this boat seems to be staying up fairly well.
Yeah, I think they're going to make it through, and if they don't, they'll just barely sink at the very end. But I really doubt that's going to happen. I think we're going to see them push all the way through. Yeah,
they've started to sink a little bit, but they've got those high walls, so that gives them the advantage of time, really. That even if you do begin to leak, if some of your boat gets filled with a little bit of water, you have sort of a time advantage there. So I think that's interesting. Oh, I like that design element there. They've got an armhole cut in the side so that you can get your arm out into the boat.
I see that. That's
to row.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's interesting.
It's a good idea.
Only on the one side, though. I think it's because one of the rowers is shorter, so that helps to compensate for the fact that she can't reach over the boat.
That's very clever, though.
Yeah, it's really neat to see a design element like that where you've got. You really have someone, accounting for a special situation and putting some thought into the design and not just building a box that they put into water.
Yeah, I agree. You can clearly tell that they went through the design process and thought about how they were going to make their boat, which is excellent to see, especially with middle schoolers.
Yeah, so they've made it through the first, second, and third junction. They've gotten the 3 medicine balls, and they are on the final leg of their journey. So when you grab the medicine balls, there's no throwing at that final junction, but you still do need to go to that area regardless, so that you can take the same path. You don't want students to be taking a shorter path. So that you take the path. Although there is a little bit of leeway because it is difficult to precisely control the boats all the time. So there's a little bit of leeway. They don't have to put their boat in a very specific position. They just need to, honor the path that we've set up.
And it looks like they've made it all the way through. They've completed the course.
They have. So
with
that's
the medicine balls.
That's a second team being successful. Interesting to note, as they picked up the medicine balls, they did start to go slower and slower as time went on. But I do think that was sort of counterbalanced by the fact that they had a gaining in experience of how to row the boat. So that I think that balances itself out.
I definitely agree with that. The first one with the balls today. We'll see how many people opt for those over the foam balls that they throw into the course, because obviously some people might be a little bit intimidated by the challenge of putting weights in their boat.
Yeah, I think keeping weight down is a big part of this challenge, and so adding medicine balls sort of blindly runs in the face of that idea, and I think it's interesting to see students opt for that extra weight. I think there's a really interesting choice in the design here.
I completely agree with that. I believe that. Well, I think we'll see an even number, actually.
You think so?
I think people will like the challenge it presents.
I know I would. So, what team do we have going up next?
All right, we have a team consisting of Tabin, Connor, Ian, and Joe. And they are all juniors at Firestone High School under the direction of Mr. Spak. I believe they are getting up right now to get into the water. Yep. Can you see who's getting in right now? I believe that's Joe and Connor. Yeah, Joe and Connor are the ones getting in the boat right now. So
yes.
We're going to see a two-person boat team again, which I believe that will be quite common throughout the day. And let's see here. Their team name is Can Durkee Swim? ? And I believe that's in reference to Joe, their current team member in the boat. He's the one wearing the green.
Oh boy, their boat is going a little topsy-turvy over there.
Yeah, I will say though that I believe that to get in the water, Joe does have to be able to swim. So I would say that he definitely can swim.
I sure hope so. I wouldn't want to see him go down and not be able to swim. Their boat is having some real trouble staying
afloat, or not stable. I want to say
stable. Yes,
yeah.
They're struggling with stability here, I think. Which isn't something we've seen in the first two boats. I think that's a result of their boat being smaller. It's not as large as the other two.
The angle is causing them to move forward into the water, which pushes their bow into the water, which causes them to take on more water, which eventually will just cause them to sink.
Oh, the bow getting
but it looks
nice
like they fixed their balance, because they're having to be real careful right now, because any upset in the delicate balance of that can just throw them completely off. So
yes,
and that'd be terrible, obviously, for them, as the boat would sink and get a little bit wet.
Yeah, you can see that as they row, the one side of the boat is starting to bow in, flexing with the force of the paddle on the side. I think that's sort of helped along by the water. As the cardboard gets wet, it'll start to flex like that. They're grabbing the third medicine ball. You can see some water starting to leak into the boat. Oh boy. Putting the medicine balls in the front is proving destructive as they tip even more in that same direction.
Looks like the walls are buckling a little bit.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. They're rowing over to the side and beginning the second to last leg.
It's always fun to root for an underdog. They start out a little rough, but looks like they've got themselves under control right now.
Yeah, I think they've learned how to control the boat that they're in, but I think it's a race against the clock now. They've got to make it before their boat fills up with water. And every tip and every turn that boat takes is going to inch a little bit more water in there. And oh man, I don't know.
They really
starting to get risky. Oh, it's slowing.
Oh, and
boy.
this is what it looks like in the ending moments of a boat.
Indeed.
Taking on water. There it goes.
It's taking on water. They're pushing against the wall, and they are down.
That would be our first sink of the day, folks.
Indeed it is. Yes, a round of applause.
Valiant effort, though.
That was a good effort. I think had they been more stable at the beginning, they would have proved to be more successful as time went on.
I definitely agree with that. The shallow nature of their boat made it difficult to stabilize.
Yes, I think it's interesting to see that the weight versus size ratio, that if you make the boat bigger, you gain more weight, but also more stability. I think that's an interesting trade-off.
All right, who's next? Do you know? Check on
I
that.
am not aware. Let's see. It is BCLC's first team is the
Bookdoor.
next team to go.
And let's see if we have any information on them. I don't believe we have submissions from them regarding the names on their team.
I have not seen any information from Bookdal's team, so be going a little bit blind on the people. I've received an update from an outside source. Bookdal's team has been moved later into the competition. So Bookdal's team, I think they haven't arrived yet. So their team is going to be moved down in the time slot to give them a little bit more time to arrive. We don't want to disqualify a team just because their school schedule is inhibiting. So.
Yes.
So with Bookdal moving down, that means our next team is going to be National Inventor Hall of Fame STEM's first team, and I know we have papers on them. So
yes, we do. Let me just get a hold of those real quick. All right. Got quite a few Miller Souths. Found it. This is them, correct?
yes, that would be them. So this team consists of Zach Berger, Luca Riccitti, Cole Diefendorf, and Joseph Wachik. Their team name is the Bagels, and they are under the instruction of Coach Garcia. Yeah, they call their teachers coaches at the STEM school. Maybe we call our coaches teachers here at Firestone.
Yeah. Interesting twist on a classic concept, but looks like they're all in the 7th grade.
Yes, all 4 of them have put some sort of engineering denomination on their list. Although Luca has also listed that he wants to be a sports writer. University of Akron and Ohio State University seem to be the popular choices for everyone except for Joseph, who put MIT. I think that's an ambitious choice. I like to see that.
It is indeed, and I believe they're coming up right now. Oh, thank you. Litchfield Middle School.
So we shall see how the Bagels do when their boat gets into the water. I can see they're holding it over there.
Yeah, I believe they're getting it out and getting it ready to put into the water.
Oh, they've got an interesting design. I've seen those in the past. I think once it gets into the water, we'll talk more in depth about the specific design they've chosen. But I think their teacher is taking a photo of them before they hop into the water.
Yes, we actually, every team gets a photo taken of them in front of the poster for boats, actually, before they go into the water with their team name in front of them. So, we have some documentation, saying everyone was there, and just for the memories, really.
Oh, nice. I like memories.
I agree. I wish we could have gone when we were in middle school. This would have been fun.
Oh yeah. I had fun doing this in my high school years, and doing it in middle school would have been interesting. So, as we see them getting into the boat, you'll notice they have a very tall set of walls. These kids are probably going to have to stand to be able to row in the water, especially seeing as how short they are.
They're getting. Well, are they going to get down, or are they going to? They're kind of kneeling. It looks like.
Yes, they're. So they're going to have to reach to get over the wall, but they have really, really tall walls on the side of their boats.
I don't know how that's going to work out for them, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
When you have taller walls, it's much easier to tip if your base isn't larger.
Yes.
It extends the moment arm of your boat in proportion to the area.
Yeah, and the lower, I think, the lower.
And so they're more. They have to be very balanced.
Whoa, that is a very fast tip. Their boat went over. Maybe 5 feet out of the gate. That did not make it very far.
I'd give it 6 or 7.
6 or 7, you think, maybe? Well.
I'm curious, what were they going to go for? I think they would have gone for the medicine. They had an ambitious design. I think they would go with the more ambitious option, which is the medicine balls.
I think so as well. And I think the medicine balls would have been, for the tallness of the boat, would have played to that strength. But I just think the boat wasn't quite wide enough, and they ended up tipping over because of weight distribution issues. So, that is the first National Inventor Hall of Fame STEM team, and, well, don't get to talk about them very much.
All right, and it looks like Miller South Team 1 is next.
Miller South Team 1. So, who's on that team, Nick?
Well, if I'm correct, with the forms I have in front of me, it looks like it's Brianna Horner, Alex Hernandez, Max Smith, and Grace Hayda. They're all in grade 8 under the direction of Miss Duff at Miller South. Their team name is the Friends theme song. So it looks like they're a fan of the classic 90s television show.
Indeed.
Well, wait a second. Nope. Their team name is the Friends theme song, that's for sure. I misread and almost looked at the boat name, and I confused me for a second there. All right, let's see. It looks like we also may have another person on that. Yes, sorry, let me correct myself. Kayla Lewis is also on the Miller South 1 team. I did not see that at first.
Yes.
Shuffled underneath, but correct myself with that. And I believe, how many Miller South teams are here today?
There are 2 of them.
There are two Miller South teams. Good to see. Me and Charlie both went to Miller South, so and I believe this is the first time they're actually appearing at the Cardboard Boats race.
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting. It's nice to see they're not typically included in all the science events, so it's nice to see. It's nice to see the art school get some representation. So there will be 2 of them in the boat, and they will be paddling off starting right now.
I think
quick
that
bit of
do well.
I think so. I sure hope so. Their boat design is pretty good. They've got that angled front, like the first boat actually, that helps sort of to cut through the water. They're struggling a little bit when they're paddling on the same side. Their boat rotates, and they are struggling to get any forward momentum. So they're going to be looking to start getting that. Although I think it looks as if they're starting to find their feet per se. Their sea legs, maybe. And they're going to be grabbing the medicine balls. So this team is going for the medicine balls rather than the foam balls. So that marks actually every team so far that has made it to the first junction has taken the medicine balls as their option.
Oh, that's interesting choice. We'll see how it plays out in the long run. Obviously, the more weight that gets added, the more the stability issues a boat may have, depending on how it's built.
Yeah, although I think for a team that's rotating so easily, that the medicine balls may calm that action. Medicine balls may work to make it harder for them to wiggle in the water, I guess.
I guess you'd be right, and until they roll and they shift around a little bit, and maybe that might throw them a little bit off. But we'll definitely see how it goes.
I think another important element I just saw is when she grabbed the medicine ball, she kind of dropped it into the bottom of the boat. I think how you use the medicine balls when you have them might also be an important element that you don't want to drop them into the bottom and break open the bottom of your boat. That could serve to sink your boat in an instant. So I think how teams handle the medicine balls is another important element, one I didn't even think about.
I agree with that. Dropping them in may not be the best solution. Might be better to just kind of ease them in there. But in the interest of time, if you want to get through faster, you might just want to just drop it.
So I think they did a better job of getting the medicine ball quickly and efficiently into the bottom of the boat without dropping it in there.
All right. Okay. We did get. This is the right team, so I was a little concerned a little bit because the Miller South forms aren't labeled, but this is the correct team.
Yes.
Let's see, going to the final checkpoint until they head back, and it looks like they've been they're going to make
sailing all the way.
Yeah.
They have shown little, really sinking of any kind. Their boat seems to be at a very similar level to where they began, and the medicine balls are affecting their speed, but not really, putting their boat too significantly in danger. So I think that was a good option for them to take.
Well, we'll see how these medicine balls play out because, the time of putting them in there versus the time that they give you just may not be worth it. But, of course, that's something we'll see when we get the final number and results of the race today. You can see their teammates are actually filming them complete it. Must be very proud.
Oh, yeah.
As being their first outing here at the Cardboard Boats race. I know I would be. I'd be very excited to make it because we actually had an intermission year about 2 years ago.
Yes.
And we started up again last year.
the new building was under construction, and the pool was out of commission during the time we would have wanted to use it. So we did not get to do that, and that's why it hasn't been 15 consecutive years. There was a gap year in there, so it is technically only the second annual. But this is the end of the first heat. I think we're going to be announcing the fastest time during this heat. And then we'll be moving on into the second of 6 total heats. They're split up that way so that we can organize things a little smoother and make sure that that groups are going when they are able to be here.
Let's see if we're running on schedule today. Oh yes, we are running right on schedule. The second heat starts at 11:05 and is currently 11:04. And it looks like Higher Team 2 is putting their boat into the water, and that consists of Melissa Adrian, Abigail Hasinski, Vax Sandor, and I believe they are all in the boat. Yes, their whole team is getting in the boat. Higher Team 2. They're all in the 8th grade under the direction of Mr. Watts, and their team name is Journey.
Journey. I like that name.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a reference to the band.
I was going to say it seems like an inspired name from somewhere else. Something you'll notice is because of the 3 members of the team that they have in the water, their boat is going a significant distance down into the water, so that's going to be a big risk for them not to, paddle any of the water into the boat and begin the sinking process prematurely.
I agree. They might. The only thing that they might suffer from is when your boat is incredibly short. You have more issues with tipping usually.
Yes, that is a concern that they may have to face.
Oh, and they're going for the medicine balls.
They are. Interesting. So it's been almost predominantly medicine balls as the option that people have taken.
I believe we've only seen
race.
one team take the foam balls to shoot for the targets, and that was the first team today.
It was, yeah. And then the second team went with the medicine balls, and ever since then we've seen medicine balls over and over.
Let's see here. Let's find some facts about these guys. Looks like they want to do quite a bit in high school, from student council, orchestra, track, book club, and cheer and Gateway to National Junior Honor Society, and let's see what else. Choir, band, and marching band for some of the people. So it seems like music is a common theme among these guys.
Yeah, they look to be highly involved in middle school, and that's nice. You'll see, you'll see students like that being successful. Case in point, these students are being fairly successful with their boat so far. They've made it through the second junction, grabbed the ball, and are on their way to the third and final medicine ball that they have to grab. And then from there, they just have to row their way back. Oh boy, though, you see the back of the boat sort of tipping into the water.
I did just notice that.
Yeah, that was pretty close.
I also noticed that the back of the boat is a little raised, so I think they may have anticipated that.
Yes, they have a guard along the back there. I don't know exactly what to call it, but they have sort of a raised backing there, so that when the back tips backwards, they're protected.
They have their names written on the side of the boat also.
Oh, I noticed that. Yes.
Looks like the only thing I'd be concerned about is the plastic wrap is beginning to, it looks like, a little bit's about like kind of falling off on the back right there, and if water were to touch that cardboard there, it might prove to be a little bad for them.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing I think about doing cardboard boats, is that cardboard is not water resilient in any way. Water really just destroys cardboard in most cases. So it's cool to see that working with just a couple of simple materials, teams are able to turn that cardboard into a floating device for the water.
Yeah, I agree. They calculate the displacement actually of the boat. So they find the total volume of the boat, and they find out how much that volume of water, how much that weighs, and they know how much the boat can actually hold up.
It's a nice way to prove the concept. And again, I think barring anything catastrophic happening, this team is very close to the end, although the final moments can sometimes be the most stressful when you're inside the boat.
Indeed. It looks like
they are just around the corner.
And this is going to be one of a few teams today who's made it all the way through with all of the medicine balls. And so I think the medicine balls are kind of maybe slowing them down, but we don't really have any way to show that.
It's hard to measure.
Evidence, yeah. Well, yeah, because we have to run the same boat twice, 2 identical boats, and one goes for medicine balls and one goes for the foam balls.
Yeah, and then compare the overall time that it takes. But we really can't do that because once a boat goes in the water, it gets waterlogged, it gets soaked, and you really only have to do one run. That's the good thing is that you only have to make the one run. Oh wow, that is an interesting boat design. This is East 2, so this will be East's second boat in the water, and they have a really cool-looking boat. It's long, like really long.
Yes, it is, and I think they're definitely not going to tip forward. One thing that I would be concerned about is if you notice, the bottom of the boat is duct tape, so we know that the bottom of the boat is waterproof, but I don't think that they were expecting. I think the boat's going to sink a little bit more into the water than they thought. So we might see them take some water on the cardboard, which might make them sink a little bit faster. But I suppose we'll see.
Yes, that is a concern. But I really like the design of preventing forward and backward tipping.
I agree. It's like a canoe almost.
Yes, it's interesting to see how. Real design of like commercial watercraft is sort of bleeding into the design of these cardboard boats, and you'll see what works and what doesn't in real boats, I guess, being applied here in an interesting and creative way. That the design of modern watercraft is influencing their choices.
I gotta say that these guys are pretty confident in the success of their boat. They just took on a medicine ball. I just noticed they're actually wearing hats.
They are wearing hats.
So
hats aren't always successful in a boat. If you go down and that hat gets in the water,
you might not want to get your hat wet.
Yeah.
So they're in it to win it.
They are in it to win it, and so far it seems to be going pretty well. They're not quite maintaining the course, but
looks like they're gonna ram into the wall right there.
Oh yeah, that's a contact. Any kind of, it's not huge, but any kind of contact really with the boat can be detrimental to the structural integrity of the design, and when that fails, your hopes and dreams go down with the boat.
Yes, it does.
But they're grabbing the second medicine ball. They're distributing the weight. I see that they're moving one of the medicine balls back. Although, while in concept that's a good idea, I don't know if it's practically the best idea because you see the boat sort of caving in at the back end there. So you might want to keep the balls all towards the front to distribute the downward trend of the shape.
It kind of looks like that. Are they just placing them in their laps? Are they holding them, or is there somewhere that they place them? Because they're pretty still right there.
One's in a lap. It looks like the second one is being held by some feet, held in place.
If you notice on the side of the boat, they have enjoyed the Matrix theme. There's a bunch of green ones and zeros, which stands for the binary theme that's in the Matrix the movie.
That's cool to see. It's nice to see teams really embrace the spirit of the competition and make their boats unique.
I am impressed with how resilient the outside cardboard is against the water. We just got to look into the inside of their boat, and there's very, very little water to what you normally expect for a mostly cardboard boat.
Yeah, with really no saran wrap on the outside, the cardboard has been holding up very well, and I don't know exactly what to attribute that to. Personally, I would attribute that to the construction of the outside and the long-running sections of cardboard that even if one section gets wet and gets a little soggy, the rest of the outside can help hold that up. So it's nice to see they're on the final leg of their journey, but as we know, this leg can be detrimental to some teams where their movement stalls and the boat goes down in the final leg.
And let me just say,
making it pretty quickly.
I am impressed that they made it through. I honestly was not entirely sure.
That's it's cool to see they made it all the way through. I must say I'm surprised, but I'm happy about it. I am.
All right, and it looks like next up is the second Miller South team. Because it looks like we've had another delay in the schedule with some other teams arriving. So Miller South Team 2 is going to be the next one up.
So Miller South Team 2 will be the next one up, and let me see if I can grab their papers real fast. Is this Miller South Team 2 here? Or is this the first one? Okay. So we're going to have to find the papers specifically for the second team.
Yep.
But yeah, so we'll see Miller South going up again after East 2's successful run through the water.
But we'll see how this Miller South team does in comparison to the first one. I believe this is the first team that's going to go up against a second team. So I believe we haven't seen two of the same school go into the water yet, as in middle school.
That is true. Yes, we saw East 2 in the water, but East 2 was the first East team to go. I don't know why that is, but yes. So I think this will be the first school versus school face-off that we will have seen.
We'll definitely get a nice comparison here, and we have the Jennings and Buchtel team lists now, which is good.
It's good to see.
Leave them out right there. We're having some issues locating the Miller South Team 2, though. So I'm just going to go correct that real quick.
All right. Yes, and it seems as if there's some kind of delay on the boat getting in the water, although actually, here it comes. So the boat is rectangular in shape. It's got saran wrapping on the outside. They seem to have done a very good job of that. They've wrapped the saran wrap into the inner lip of the boat so as to, keep the water from soaking the top edge of the cardboard and losing that all-important structural integrity. So my comrade Nick is off talking to another team about the forms and whether or not they have forms to provide us on team names. But we see two people getting into the boat. They're grabbing their paddles, and they'll be off in just 1 second. They've begun paddling. Their boat is kind of wobbly. It is certainly not going as straight as you'd want, but they're starting to gain control of the path it's taking.
So unfortunately, we cannot locate their papers. Unsure of where those are exactly, but once we figure that out and talk to the instructor, we'll update this.
Nick, do you see the segment of cardboard in the middle there that's gotten wet? How has that happened?
I do see that, as in the right above the duct tape.
Yeah, it's already gotten wet, even though it's covered by saran wrap. I don't know how that's happened.
Maybe the saran wrap peeled up a little bit and let some water in, but I don't know.
Yeah, the water will peel the saran wrap. Any kind of natural grip that it has is sort of negated by the water. So I've got to assume that's what's happened. But man, you don't want to see that. One of them fell over while inside the boat, and the boat started to.
They did not tip.
Yeah, that could have been catastrophic.
Yes, it could have.
But it's good to see that they're continuing, and they're going along pretty strong.
And it looks like after this, we're getting another STEM team up.
Oh, nice. So we'll see a second STEM team going. We've seen most of the schools compete thus far, so.
Yes.
So we'll be beginning to see how those second teams stack up against the first teams, and we'll see more and more teams going throughout the day.
They did go for the medicine balls, correct?
Yes, they have gone for the medicine balls route. That leaves just one team that's gone for the foam balls. It seems like a lot of teams are confident in their boat's ability to hold up against that extra weight.
Incredibly interesting, considering we're in the second heat now. And that only one team out of all the teams that have gone have chosen the foam balls. Means they must have ran some math that first team didn't. Must have benefited them pretty heavily to completely go for that.
Yeah, I don't know. You predicted that it'd be about 50-50 on the options that we'd get there, and I predicted that it would be almost entirely foam balls. So it looks like both of us were wrong.
This is certainly an interesting twist in the competition, and it looks like they just got the last medicine ball, and they're going to. Oh, yep, there it is. I do see some plastic wrap falling off in the back, but it looks like it'll be all right because it's right where the duct tape is. So I think they're going to make it through. I think they're going to do all right.
They're keeping water damage to a minimum, but the front half of that boat is starting to tip pretty heavily. So that'll be interesting. They're in a race against the clock to make sure that they make it to the end.
Something else interesting that I noticed when the last one with medicine balls sank is that the medicine balls don't actually sink. They just float on the water.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yes, and which is getting me thinking now, if the medicine balls, float on the water, it can't be wearing the boat down that much. It means the water's actually just pushing the weight of the medicine balls up. So if you think about it, that might be an advantage. I have to look into that maybe.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh, and they lost the paddle.
They dropped the paddle. And they go down. Man, they made it to the last juncture. They just had the final stretch to go, but they lost a paddle and they lost control of the boat.
Yeah, it looks like they lost their balance because the boat is still floating actually. So I think that's one thing that they're gonna have to keep up on with a lot of this is the balance.
Balance is important, and I think boat design plays into that a lot. It's easier to keep balance if your boat is designed in a way that benefits that. But yeah, the boat is still afloat, even though there's medicine balls inside, and they tipped. So I think the tipping was just a loss of balance there for the team competing, rather than a failure in the construction. Which, if anything, I think is the better way to go down if you're going to do it. That your boat was built properly. You just
and
didn't
looks like
execute
we've got
quite
that
properly.
next STEM team up.
Oh man, what is that boat shape? I have never seen a boat shaped like that in my life.
It is interesting. I will give them that. It is looks like a original design. It looks like they've got the entire thing wrapped in plastic wrap. It looks like.
It's good.
But it looks like they might be.
Oh man! Well,
right out of the gates.
There it is. That is. That'll happen to you sometimes. At the very beginning of the race, they tipped over, and that's it.
That's it for them. That's right. Looks like
that boat will not go any distance at all.
Funnily enough, it is still floating, but upside down. So
yes, upside down, and the boat is gonna fill up with water, which makes it a lot more difficult to row that boat. So I don't think they're going to be trying again. That is I don't know if we'll see that happen many more times from here on out. I think most teams will take that as a warning to make sure that when you're getting inside the boat, it is as stable as possible.
So it looks like next one up is East 1. And let's see here.
East 1. So East 1 is going just backwards.
Yes.
Oh, I think that was because of a delay. The East 1 team is delayed because the East school didn't arrive right at the beginning, so we had to push them back.
Yes, they got shuffled back. There's been quite a few schedule additions actually. The schedule that we started with is not actually current, so we've been running off of a new digital copy that's been provided to us by our logistics team here at the boat race today. NIF 2 was the one that just sank, correct?
Yes, that was NIF 2.
No, that was 1. That was STEM 1. That was STEM High School.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely interesting, with especially more along the lines of more of like a high school team. There's a couple people. Looks like I think that was Team ASR.
ASR, yeah. They named themselves after the first initials as well. We saw a team do that earlier.
Angel Gavin, Roxon, and Shalyn Gordon Black. That would be their team. And,
so East 2 or East 1 actually, the second East team we're seeing.
No way, this would be the first, right?
No, we saw East 2 go earlier.
Oh, East 2 did go. You are right about that. you're right, the canoe shape I should have remembered. We didn't think they were going to make it, and they did.
Yes, this is the second boat to share that similar canoe shape. So both boats from East share a very similar design. It'll be interesting to see whether or not this boat does as well as the other boat, or if it'll fail before we reach the finishing line.
They've got 2 people again, so but it looks like they're having some turning issues.
Yeah, their boat is
cracked right in the middle.
It buckled in the center, and they went down before even reaching the first junction.
Got to be careful with that.
Yes.
I believe that was an issue that actual ships had to overcome, where they usually crack in the middle and sink. I believe the Titanic did that actually.
Yes, yeah, it did. It did suffer a similar fate. So it's nice to see that at the very least their failures are realistic.
Let's see.
They're based on how real boats work. And yeah, that boat just got waterlogged and it cracked down the middle.
Looks like up next is Outgrows CLC number 1, and we actually have their names. So let's pull that one out. All right. And all right, here we go. So we have James Nellums, Jamil Townsend, Callan Miller, and those would be the people on their team. They have a 3-person team, and 2 of them are in 7th grade, and they have 1 8th grader, and that 8th grader would be Jamil Townsend. Their team name is 1040. I'm not entirely sure what that's in reference to. Perhaps it's a Matrix reference. I don't think so though, but maybe.
I don't remember that reference, but their teacher is Mr. Blankenship. Blankenship. Funny, he's got the ship in his name. No, so only one of them is going in the boat. James Nellums will be the person inside the boat, and it's interesting to see a team only send one person. You'll typically have multiple people in the boat. We'll see how that'll go for them. I'm interested to see how that change in strategy will fare.
Yeah, James Nellums getting in the boat, but if the people that are up there now, it looks like there's 2, so maybe they had to leave 1 back at school. Two out of 1 teammates.
Yes, I only see one of them up there.
Oh well, wait. So Jennings is going up right now. Is that not Buchtel?
It seems to be that way. Yes, it looks as if the Jennings and Buchtel team have switched places.
Jennings 1 is up there now. Correct?
Yes. So, well, that would be why we only saw 2 of them.
Okay, that would explain a lot. So Jennings 1.
Team 1. Oh, there's actually 4 of them on that team. We've got Ranjan Rai. We've got Hamza. We've got Oscar Buhel and Roman Tapa. So only 2 of them are going into the boat. Yes, all 4 of them are 8th graders under the tutelage of Mr. Blankenship. Same teacher as the team that was going to go.
Awesome. And let's see what else we've got here. Their team name is BDC.
BDC. What is that?
Does that have to do with their names? No, it doesn't.
No, I don't see any correlation for names there. That's interesting.
They've got some. Let me say, some of their, at least over here on mine, they've got some goals. It looks like they're looking for some success. We've got Harvard and surgeon for one of the students, and Yale and software engineering for the other on my sheet.
I've got a Harvard and professional athlete, and Kent State, and joining the Marines for Roman on my team.
Always respectable. Love our armed forces.
Indeed. So, they've got some pretty heavy hitting goals on that team.
Interestingly enough, one of the 2 people I was saying, they're actually in the boat, and they're all multilingual actually. Ranjan actually speaks 3 languages, which is very impressive. That's a skill that not many people have, being able to speak multiple languages.
That is a highly interesting skill. So that's cool to note. So you'll see as their boat goes, they've got a very tightly saran wrapped exterior for the boat, and I think that's a really important element. That if you get that saran wrap really tight on there, it's not going to come off, and you'll have a lot of success. You'll see this is another team opting for the medicine balls, following the M pathway, and they're taking a bit of the leg rowing backwards and then turning themselves around to row forward. They've got a really efficient rowing squad here that is really killing it in terms of the speed department. They're going fast.
Yeah, you really have to wonder whether or not they've done rowing before, because it really looks like it. You know, most people struggle. I know I did. When I was a freshman doing boats, I could not row.
Indeed. A bit of a story about Nick. When he was a freshman doing boats, he didn't know how a paddle worked so severely that he tried to use it in the wrong direction and got nothing done. I know because I was on his team. This team, in opposition to that, is very effectively piloting their boat. I am highly impressed with how well this team is able to move their boat, and especially in unison. With the two of them working together, it is impressive to see how deftly they're moving their boat around the water. They're very clearly experienced in this in some way, because you'll see a lot of teams that...
I think this will be the best movement of the day, honestly. I think we're gonna this will be some of the best rowing we'll see.
Yeah, and
they're very skilled.
If a team does do better than them, that'll be even cooler to see. I'd love to see a team do better than them.
Of course.
They're sort of ramming the wall at the end here, so that's not good. It seems as if their boat is drifting to the left as they go. I wonder if that's a construction element, if the way their boat's constructed makes it do that, or if it's more a one of them is rowing a little harder than the other and they have to keep adjusting in that direction. Regardless, they're going to make it pretty seamlessly to the end of the course, and that was really just a textbook run of a boat. It's really nice to see a boat just go all the way through successfully. And interestingly enough, another team that took the medicine ball option and made it through with little trouble there.
This is kind of making me wonder. I wonder if this was fully explained that you can choose both the medicine balls and the foam balls, because we've seen literally almost no one pick the foam balls, which is highly unusual. This is not at all what pretty much anyone expected. So maybe we'll see a change as we go throughout the day and get to some Firestone teams. Maybe they'll choose a little bit differently.
Yeah. So with the conclusion of the second heat or the third heat, with the conclusion of the second heat.
Actually, we are up in the last. I think this is the last one of the second heat, if I'm correct. Yes, we're gonna go up in the last one with Jennings Team 2.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's gonna have Segurai, Sepe Arlan, and Muksem Limbu, and along with Dominic Crosier. And they are all in the 8th grade under the instructor of Mr. Blankenship, again, same as Jennings Team 1. And their team name is Blank. Maybe that's a joke. It really is listed. The word blank. The word blank is listed as in BLANK. There
is no C in the word blank, Nick.
I had to stop myself there almost. I was like, wait. I know how to spell the word blank, but
two of them are in the boat. That is Sagar and Muxum are in the boat, and whoa! Oh, really fast. Capsized. They have gone down. Their boat capsized, tipped over really quickly. That's
surprising. I was expecting them to fully navigate the course.
Yeah, the construction, the shape of their boat really indicates to me that it's well built. So it's hard to see them tip over so soon.
It looks like now we are entering the third heat,
yes.
Starting off with Bookdole. However, I don't see Bookdole. Oh no, I see Bookdole now. Okay, no. Yes, I do. They are here. So no, I believe our schedule should normalize from here.
How are we doing on time? Are we sticking with the schedule pretty effectively?
We're actually a little behind, or we're a little ahead. I mean,
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're about 10 minutes ahead of where the third heat is supposed to start. So we're running pretty smoothly. We're getting some fast runs out of teams, and it's especially, I think, indicative of good boats, because a lot of teams are making it to the end, and we're still on schedule. So that means that teams that make it to the end are doing so quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, that's actually That's actually very cool, actually. Maybe we'll see everyone get through just as quickly, but I have a feeling it had to do with some of the quick timing of some people's race, as in sinking at the get-go.
Well, that is true. We've seen pretty much the teams that sink at the beginning or at the very end, at least as far as we've seen. So this team is off. There's only one student in this boat, and he's going to be rowing his way down the line. That boat is very square, and they've got a very interesting slanted front there. That's interesting. We haven't seen another boat with this specific design. And
I believe this is James Nellums. We announced their team earlier, Team 1040, if you'll recall. So he's by himself, like Charlie said.
Yes.
And this is a more interesting. It almost looks like a foot, the boat. You know.
Yeah, it is. It is shaped in that kind of a way. Hey, interesting. James is going for the foam balls in his boat. So
wow.
this is a team that is opting for that foam ball option, and some of the saran wrap appears to be peeling off in a way that there's some water getting into the cardboard. So that is a bit concerning for James, but I think he's doing very well so far. He's slowly, methodically, well, not slowly, but he's methodically making his way down the line, and he's not freaking out, not panicking, doing a very good job of rowing the boat effectively. He's got a really good rhythm going and getting himself in a straight line, which can be hard to do as a single rower because you have to go on opposite sides, one after the other.
Yeah, but he's really powering through.
He is showing that sometimes slow and steady does win the race. I think there's certainly something to be said for not trying to row as fast as possible and really gaining some speed, some momentum in the boat.
I think he's gonna pull through. It looks like I believe that is a little Caesars logo on the front.
It looks as if they've taped the front of a little Caesars pizza box onto their boat. That's that is entertaining to say the least. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's nice to see teams, have a little spirit in their design. Have something that makes it original, not just in design but also in aesthetic. I'm a bit of a sucker for that.
And James Nellums, the man in the boat, is he wants to do wrestling in high school. Actually,
wrestling. That is a.
He'd like to be an artist, and his favorite class is GTT.
GTT, nice. That's the engineering class for those who don't know at Litchfield and at other.
Buchtel. Yeah.
Well, yes, it is spread to other middle schools too, which is really nice to see. I like to see engineering and design spreading to the middle schools. And this James from Buchtel is steadily making his way through the course. He's
gonna shoot for the targets now.
Yes, it would appear that way. He's turning himself into position, moving himself along, and he's going to. I think he's going to have to take this throw from a bit of an angle if he stays where he's at. He may move a little closer though. We'll see. It looks like he's parking the boat. He's signaling for something. I don't know, but he's grabbing the balls. One throw.
So close. One miss.
Another miss.
And he has one more shot. And
that's three misses. Interesting. They were all right in the same area, but missed consistently in the same shots. Another interesting note is when he threw those balls, they had water all over him, which means that the bottom of his boat is probably getting pretty soggy right about now.
I didn't get a chance to look in. He has some high walls, so I didn't quite see that, but it appered you'd be right.
Yeah, there's some really sagging cardboard in there. Some of the saran wrap has completely peeled off. He's in the last stretch, but his boat is starting to crumple. So I really hope to see him get to the end, but it's gonna be a battle to the end.
Ooh, and it looks like he's starting to go, but what we've seen throughout all this, he's made it so far. So I think he'll push through to the end.
I think so. I think the strength is going to be that strong, methodical rowing style is going to get him to the end. He's not panicking. He's making progress. His boat is you know, collapsing around him, but he's making it. Oh boy.
I'm unsure about this one, but I think he's got the willpower to make it through.
I can't quite see the other end, which appears to be the end that's tipping, but he's so close.
He's right on the edge. I will see.
Oh, it's oh. Man, this is tense.
Close. Yeah, this is close. And it looks like
there it goes. His boat is down. Oh, man, that is so disheartening to see someone get so close.
He's about 3 feet from the end.
Yeah, that was, man, that is a close call. That's
heartbreaking right there is what that is.
Indeed it is.
Looks like Little Caesars made it, though.
Little Caesars did indeed make it to the end. The logo is still there, affixed to the front of the boat.
And it looks like next we have a Firestone team, which would consist of Moira Spinos, Michelle, Aiden, and Emily Johnson. It looks like Emily and Aiden are going to be the ones in the, well, actually I lie. It looks like it's just going to be Aiden Grass in the boat today.
He's the only one in a bathing suit.
Yes.
And that boat design is small.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I don't think you could fit more than one person in there.
I was wondering about that myself. Yeah.
Oh, so he's going for a sitting legs extended
like
approach. He's got sort of a kayak style of not only of construction but also of the way he's sitting. Now, if he had a kayak paddle, this might be a little easier on him. But he has a canoe paddle. He is blazing. He is going really fast.
Yeah.
I don't see him, however, opting for the medicine balls. I don't know if he even has the space in that boat to hold all the medicine balls. And yes, it does look like he's going to be taking the green foam balls to throw at the targets. I think his speed is going to be a big benefactor, though. He's going real fast.
Now, if there's anyone I think that can make it through and maybe hit all of the targets, it would definitely be Aiden.
Aiden is an athletic kid, I must say. So
I'd like to point out that they're all juniors.
All of them are juniors, yes.
They're all juniors. And he's at the second station getting another ball. I'm honestly surprised he hasn't tipped yet or taken on some water.
Yeah, he is kept very steady. Usually a boat this thin you'll see will wobble side to side and start to take on some water, and that'll be their downfall. But so far he is managing very well. He's at the third station, moving really fast, puts that third ball in there, and an interesting note about their design: they have saran wrap all in the inside of their boat too. I think the smaller design of their boat gave them enough material to coat the inside, which I think even if you take on some water means that your cardboard won't start to buckle, which we've seen some teams struggle with.
Ooh,
so one shot, second
one.
Shot makes it in, third shot makes it in.
So
for a total of 2 shots, yes.
2 out of 3.
And all he's got to do is paddle his way to the end, and he's kept it very well suspended in the water, and is making a good path towards the end. He's blazing a trail. This is going to be, to my mind, this is going to be one of the faster runs we've seen, especially with a 2-point time reduction.
Yeah, it really will be. I could see Aiden taking the win on this whole competition. But
he's
we'll
certainly
see.
a contender after that run. That was fast. Fast as lightning.
All right, well, next up we've got another Firestone team consisting of Caleb Garcher, Mark Earl, Brian Breger, and Clayton Peets. Their team name is Brian Lost the Tape, which would seem to imply that their teammate may have misplaced some of their building materials at some point.
Yeah, you got to wonder. There's a story behind that name, and I want to hear it. I'm sorry to the audience that we can't tell it now, but their boat shall be entering the water shortly. I see it getting picked up.
They're all freshmen. They're all freshmen. Yeah.
Nice. Well,
they do have a. You know what? They did lose the tape. I do see that now.
Yes.
They're using the green tape
have green
of
duct tape.
The silver duct tape, which means it's not actually as waterproof as the silver duct tape, I believe.
It is not. The silver duct tape typically, I suppose I'm speaking typically, that silver duct tape is far better rated than the more colorful variants of duct tape that you'll see. Oh man, that tiny boat is holding all four of them. And when you see all four, you see the tiny little red plastic paddle come out. It is strikingly just as effective, although it does look a little dinky.
Yeah.
And its lightweight actually does benefit you in some ways, which I think comes to assist in the drawbacks of having less overall leverage on the momentum of the pole.
You know, they're cruising, though.
They are fast.
They're going through.
That's an interesting note from past years. I think we've seen that that boats that have 4 people in them, all of them rowing at full force, they gain some real speed. But the problem with that is that you gain a lot of extra weight, and you'll see that boat is getting really close to the water level. It is taking on some serious water.
Yeah,
they may not even make it to the second junction here.
We're seeing lots of water. Well, they're taking on lots of. There they go. Down they go. Good attempt from our Firestone team, though.
See, I don't know who that was. One of them lobbed a ball across to see if he could make it in a sort of Hail Mary pass of foam balls, trying to make it in there, and he didn't make it. Although it would have been really fun if he did.
All right, so we got our next team up right now. It's going to consist of juniors here at Firestone, actually. Dylan Peacock, JP Garcher. I can read that. I almost said AP. Jacob Murray, Josh Eisen, and Carly Justice. And they're all juniors. I said that. And
yes.
They're called the Boat Boys.
The Boat Boys.
Yep.
I'm a fan of that name, I must say. How many of them are getting in the pool? Doesn't seem like many of them. I think there's holes for 2 people. They've got holes cut in the saran wrap. I don't know if they're going to fit 2 people.
I think it's going to be 1 person, but
I don't know.
It would be interesting to put 2 people on that, because if they were on their knees, they might be too tall to keep like a good balance, and they just kind of flip over. So I'd imagine they're going to have someone lay down, and it looks like it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be Jacob Murray and Josh Eisen. Actually, it looks like they've got swim trunks on and are getting in the boat. So yeah. I do believe it will be 2 people.
Yes, that'll be really interesting to see. I'm excited to see how that boat does. It looks like from here that they have saran wrapping on the inside and also saran wrap holes to fit the person, which I think will help in reducing the amount of water that weighs the boat down and that soaks through the cardboard.
Let's see here. They've got some. Dylan wants to be a civil engineer, actually, according to his paper. And JP Garcher wants to go to Embry-Riddle, which is a Florida aeronautical university, I believe.
Yeah, they do specialize in aeronautical engineering, and that's what JP lists he wants to go into at Embry-Riddle.
Yeah. And looks like we might have a schedule update here.
Yeah, so
like another delay, possibly.
So this is a fairly large team, but yes, Josh Eisen and Jacob Murray are both listed as going into the water.
Yes, they are. And I believe this will be interesting to see them actually physically get in the boat. That's what I'm looking forward to, because it's a bit of a struggle.
We just received a scheduling update. We are really far ahead of schedule at this point, so we're going to be taking up some time. I think just taking a break. So that we get ourselves back on schedule, allow other schools time to arrive, and give everyone a bit of a break from the action.
We'll be back when the competition starts back up.
Yes, we will. All right, so we are back after a short break to get ourselves back on schedule. We are back, and we're going to see Josh Eisen and Jacob Murray getting into this boat. The 2 of them getting into a saran-wrapped cover that I think will allow them to take on less water and be more successful. The only problem is it'll allow them less total body movement, which is something that can be essential to making sure that your boat stays untipped.
I agree, but again, we'll have to see. I think these guys, once they get going, they'll be cruising. They'll be going fast. I know that Josh is on the swim team, so he's certainly prepared for this. We'll see
Well-
what they go for. I think they're going to go for the balls, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's much space for the medicine balls on this. Just as we predicted earlier, I think that the Firestone teams are going to opt more for these softballs, not softballs, the foam balls. Yes,
yeah.
thank you. They are soft, but it's not the point. The more Firestone teams are going to opt for the foam balls than other schools have been. I mean, pretty much no one else has opted for the foam balls at all. And actually, the first team was a Firestone team, so I think thus far all of the Firestone teams have gone for the foam balls. And then...
no, we've seen 2 that have gone.
Oh,
for-
you're right.
yeah.
So not all of them, but I'd say they're closer to 50% than the rest of the.
Yes,
rest
that's
of the
for sure.
students.
It is closer to 50%. And they are moving fast. What will decide how well they do is whether or not they manage to make those balls into the goal.
Yeah, their ability to keep up speed. I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again. Based on the way their boat is looking after some time, it's going to be a race against the clock for them to make it to the end and be successful or sink. I think that's going to be, I don't know, important element. Oh, they're going for rapid fire ball throwing, and they made one.
Nice.
Wow, that was a solid throw. It bounced off the wall and made it in.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bank shot right there.
Yeah, it was fast. It was the fastest bank shot I think I've seen in a long time. So
Yeah, certainly impressive. It was a good throw.
they are making it to the end. Their boat took
got
on a
it.
lot
They
of
got
water,
through
but
it.
they went fast. So that's good.
All right, and you said they were all juniors. Yeah, we did go through that they were all juniors.
Yeah, most of the teams are single grade level, or sometimes the middle school teams will be 7th and 8th graders. But
I think the next team up is actually going to be all freshmen.
all freshmen. Yeah,
I
who's going up
think so.
next? We've got
Gabby, Josue, Hannah, and Anna. Yeah, they're all freshmen here at Firestone. And their team name is We Tried. It's a little bit too defeatist for my taste.
they're not very confident in their ability to succeed.
But I suppose we'll see if they're a little bit misplaced in their naming.
Well,
They do
I'm
have
sure
a
they did
small
try.
design. Yeah, you're right. They did try. That I mean, is in their boat name is We Failed is what I was
Yes,
referencing
that's true.
there. So that boat has high walls, so I think we're going to see it tip. I think they're going to lose their balance. I think it might tip.
I don't know.
if I were to
I
guess.
think the triangular shape will help them to get through the water.
I
But
would-
we'll see how it goes. I think once they start rowing, we'll get an indication of how they might go.
Well, that, and then if you look, they're going to start spinning.
Yeah, they're certainly spinning. The asymmetrical design means that they're not going to be
There won't be a
such an easy job.
laminar flow of water around the edges.
Laminar flow, Mr. Technical terms.
Yes.
No, but I think you're right. The asymmetricality, if that's a word, of the
Asymmetricalness.
the asymmetrical design, I think, will inhibit their ability to move in a straight line, which, as far as I've seen, is pretty important when you want your boat to go on the pathway.
I agree with that completely. I think, but it looks like they're doing all right. So I could see them making it pretty far, actually. Possibly, I could see them making it to the end.
Their boat design has proved to be very successful so far with the.
So they just have to be careful.
They do. I think they need to be careful of their tippage, and I think the boat design has held up. Their boat isn't really sinking that much more than it did when they got in, so that's nice to see.
They're coming to the final station with the foam ball, so they're getting their last foam ball. So there's going to be another Firestone team getting the foam balls.
Yes, it is.
We'll see how successful they are with their shots on this one. because we might actually see them do good. And it looks like they're having some balance issues right now, though.
Yes, they are certainly struggling to balance, but they're making it through, and I think that's quite impressive. I think that making it through and at a solid pace is not something that every team has done so far. So you've got to commend them for that.
They're kind of spinning.
They are spinning. They're losing control of the rotational position of their boat.
Oh, and they're lining up for a shot. Oh,
one miss, two miss.
One in.
One in, two misses. Not awful. I mean, they could have been worse, but not ideal certainly for the amount of time it takes.
That might have given them enough time off for them to score pretty high in the gist of things.
Yeah, I think that.
But that's something that remains to be seen.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back, Nick.
All right. It looks like they are going to make it, and they're going to defy general expectations pretty much.
Sorry about that.
Towards the very end.
I had to go help out a colleague who was recollecting the foam balls to take back to the stations.
I see. And it's almost a miracle, to be honest. They've defied all of their expectations.
I mean, they were your expectations.
They were their own expectations.
That's true. They did defy their own expectations. They did not fail, and they tried their best and were successful. Very successful, actually, based on the state of their boat coming out of the water. There is almost no water on the inside of that boat.
I wonder if they'll change their boat name to We Succeeded now.
Potentially, although I think it's a little a bit of a moot point at this point.
All right, let's see who's up. And we have another team of Firestone freshmen with Liam, Connor, Julia, and Jenny.
Oh boy, what a team. So, Julia Borodkin, Jenny Skurlong, Liam Lee, and Connor Bevan. Actually, Connor Bevan is the younger brother of the person who's announcing for the stadium today. So, yes, their team name is No, This Is Patrick.
I believe that's in reference to last year's game.
Last year's game was based on SpongeBob.
It was based on
Maybe
SpongeBob.
they just like SpongeBob. Who knows?
Or that.
It's certainly possible. Let's see. A lot of them have listed that they do not know what they want to do with their college major.
Yeah, I believe that's in reference to a scene from SpongeBob where Patrick Star is working at the Krusty Krab as the person who takes the calls, and people keep calling him, and they ask, "Is this the Krusty Krab?" And then they say,
"No, this is Patrick."
Yeah.
I think it is a reference to that scene as well. All four of them listed that engineering was one of their favorite classes, although Julia Borodkin also adds choir to that list. So.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Yes. So they are opting for the medicine balls on this route. First Firestone team in a while to take the medicine balls.
And right now it looks like Jenny and Julia are the ones operating the boat.
Yes. Jenny Skurlong and Julia Borodkin are the ones operating the boat. And they're doing a fine job so far. They've picked up 2 medicine balls, which certainly weighs them down, but it'll be a stretch to see if they can make it. You'll see some of the saran wrap peeling there. That's not a good sign. You don't want to see that. Picking up
they've got enough on there that it'll be fine.
Yeah, and you see they're keeping the medicine balls at the front of the boat, which is good because they need balancing in that direction. The back of the boat is certainly weighing down a little bit further than the front. So keeping them in the front of the boat helps to equalize that weight distribution. If you have to add the weight, you want to keep it properly balanced.
Funny enough is that both of them in the boat are legacy. They both have brothers who have gone through this program. And one's here right now actually operating one of the stations.
Yeah, you'll see the boat is actually passing by Julia Borodkin's older brother in the red shirt, Jared Borodkin.
And he'll have a boat later, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, he will.
That's awesome. It's nice that he's participating, he's helping out, even though he is just a junior. So it is.
And they've made it. They've made it to the end.
They have indeed. That is a successful boat run.
All
it shows
medicine
you.
Balls.
Yes, they got all the medicine balls to the end. That'll give them a nice time bonus, and it's nice to see a team that, wasn't perfect, but it's almost inspiring to see a team that makes it with a little bit more of a scrappy run. It's nice to see that even if you're not perfect, that you can still find success in this game.
Yeah, I agree. And we're up next with a National Inventors Hall of Fame team. It's actually their second team up.
Yes, NIF is the way you say the acronym that stands for National Inventor Hall of Fame, which is the STEM middle school. They're sort of associated with that Hall of Fame. So this team consists of Ryan Fitzwater, Marissa Shannon, Skylar Bishop, and that's it.
That's it.
It's just the three of them.
That's it.
I thought there was an extra sheet
Let's see.
there,
Oh, they're the Guacamole Amigos.
Ah, yes.
And I thought it was interesting. Normally we don't say the boat names, but this one is the SS Dabao, and that is Chinese for donut.
Yes, that's an interesting note.
Just an interesting note, and they annotate that actually on the paper, or else I would not know that.
Guacamole Amigos inside of a donut. Not that appetizing of a dessert.
Does not sound that great of a dish, to be honest. But we'll see how their boat does.
Who knows? Who knows?
They're all in
okay. Didn't do very well.
Well, that was
the Guacamole Amigos inside of the donut. Went just about as well as I think the dessert would if it was served to me. So that was a very quick collapse.
That's all for the 7th grade STEM team. It looks like.
Yeah, that was a quick departure for the team. They made it into the ring and made it right back out.
And it looks like next up we have a adult team this time around, River Valley.
Yes.
They're actually our sponsors for this year's event, and actually for past events, I believe also. They provide the cardboard necessary to actually construct these boats. So all the cardboard you see is provided by River Valley.
Yes, the cardboard is provided in large sections called gaylords, and they ship enough in so that we have teams that can compete, and they ship them to all the schools actually at the in the Akron environment. The teams then use saran wrap and duct tape to construct the outer workings of it, and actually the duct tape also holds the constructions together.
To give them props, you got to realize that they sent members from their company out to go get in a boat that was constructed by students here at Firestone.
Yes, they're showing confidence in the engineering talents of the Firestone students, and that's nice to see. It's nice to see a company that puts their money where their mouth is. They give us the cardboard to construct boats. We do it, and then they get in one of the boats. And I think, if I'm not wrong, they're actually going in fully clothed. So that is an immense amount of trust.
Are they?
Yes, the two people in the green shirts, I think, are the ones entering the boats. They are in, I mean, albeit not, not a suit or a formal wear, but they are going in non-bathing suits. One of the teachers is going in with a pair of tennis shoes on. That is some confidence in the design of the boats from the students. Now the senior class does build those, so they're the most experienced students. But
yes.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. I sure do hope they don't go under. I like it when they sponsor us. So
I agree. It would not be good if they were to sink. However, I think I have faith in our boat building abilities.
Not
for them to get through this.
Not to put any pressure on the seniors who built these boats, but no senior class has ever dropped any of the administrators or sponsors that they've put in a boat. So
they never sunk.
If it happens, this will be the first one in 14 years of doing this competition. So that would not be the ideal legacy for a senior class to have.
No, it would not. I believe the saying goes, the boat sinks, so does your grade.
Yes, that is what our instructor does say to the people constructing the boat.
So there's some pressure.
Want the boat to sink. There is certainly some pressure on the seniors. It is not as if the seniors get off totally free from this. You are certainly at risk from failing this project.
There's a table here.
Oh.
Knock that leg out.
Yeah.
No,
it's like we're just coming over to help us with the table. Apparently, it was not fully extended the legs, so that's not ideal.
And they've been going for the medicine balls.
They have. They've gone for the medicine ball strategy, and I think with a boat this wide, this supported, medicine balls are a good idea. You'll also see that this boat is not taking on really any water so far. I mean, there's some that's been
good.
been
Hopefully
scooped
this is
in.
a good omen for the rest of the boats to come up that we're constructed, because next we've got quite a few principals actually coming
Oh
up.
boy, I sure hope so. I would not want to drop our principal into the water. That would be embarrassing.
I
And
100%
again,
agree with that.
would affect our
Oh, we've
grade.
got some board members coming up.
Oh boy, the school board. That is, oh man. That is a high risk, high reward, I suppose, because if we do well, that shines well on our
Oh, you
program.
do
And if we
well.
don't, that is not good. You'll see over there in the pink Indians jersey is Lisa Mansfield. That's one of our board members that will be running in just a little bit. They are, after this this fourth heat, they will be going in that.
Beginning of the 5th heat. That's
Yes.
correct. It looks like they made it with all the medicine balls, River Valley.
Indeed, they did, and they made it without getting wet. So that is an accomplishment. That was probably a very fast run. I didn't hear the time specifically that they announced for it, but I'm assuming, just based on watching, that it went very quickly.
We've got a large crowd here today watching this. Sometimes teachers will actually get to bring down their students during their classes to come watch this cardboard boat race. So there's certainly an audience to this today.
Yes, you can hear the roar of the crowd in the background. Well, I say roar a bit facetiously, but interestingly enough, the East principal is going, and East themselves actually built the boat. In another move of confidence, the East principal is not wearing a bathing suit, but is instead wearing, general exercise clothes. Although I think in a boat like this with no saran wrap, we've seen one be successful and one sink. So
this could go both ways,
It
depending.
could. It could. I sure hope to see the principal stay up, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. They do have, it seems, more duct tape on the outside of the boat, though.
I
so
was
that's a
about to
good
mention
sign.
that. Looks like they've put a little bit more duct tape on the principal's boat, which is always a good move.
It is, yeah. I think the boats built for the principals don't necessarily have to follow all of the material limits, so as to
Some of the
make
other
sure that
boats.
they don't sink. Make it as likely as possible that they don't sink. It seems as if the East principal, though, is struggling to turn the boat, although she's...
It does look like that they've adhered to the material standards for this one.
Yeah,
honestly,
it does look that way.
Which-
the amount of cardboard would indicate
which is
that
impressive.
Yes, it is. It's impressive to see them do so well. I'm happy to see that they're doing well.
I think she's going to make it through. I think East is going to... She just went through the second station and is going on to the third one to get a third medicine ball. So I think they're going to make it all the way to the end. But again, we always have to wait and see, because sometimes everything just falls apart right at the very end, right? The final stretch to the exit.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see when they come over, when the boat comes over, how much water has gotten in, because it's
it looks
quite
dry.
possible.
It definitely.
yep.
Oh, never mind. There's some water.
There is.
There's some water at the very back.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh, and the
Yo,
boat
there
is
definitely
matrix
water.
themed again. There's numbers all over it.
Yes, it's cool to see. East has done a really good job of flaring it up with that Matrix theme on their boats. It's fun to see. I'm a fan of the Matrix movies,
Yeah,
so
the
that's
the Matrix
that's nice
text
to see.
scroll. Yeah.
Matrix text scroll is a bit of an iconic image
Yeah.
for movie history.
And when Neo has his epiphany and everything turns into code.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good scene. It's a classic scene.
Yes. It says Yost on the back of the boat. I think Yost is the last name of the principal.
Either that or it's a jumbled up version of the. Oh, it is Mrs. Yost. It is.
Mrs. Yost
And
from East CLC.
Let's see here. Her dream job is lifeguard in Cancun, Mexico.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Get paid to be on the beaches of Cancun, Mexico. That does
would
not sound like a bad gig.
No, it does not. And her favorite class is engineering with Mr. Eli.
Yes.
She likes to travel to hot, sunny places, and who doesn't, to be honest? So that's Mrs. Yost from East CLC.
I must say, I'm not a big fan of hot, summery places. I like to
really?
vacation to more Nordic regions of the world.
I like a nice temperate climate.
Yes, I'm a fan of snow. I'm a fan of skiing, of winter. So that's
a fan of skiing. Do you ski?
I do ski.
You ski?
I do ski. Yes.
It's
I
interesting.
do ski.
All right, so it looks like we've got STEM. STEM is next.
STEM's principal. Yes, we've got a whole lineup of principals. We've got STEM's principal, Hire's principal, and Firestone's principal, all going one after another. And then the board members, Akron Public Schools board members, will be going on their boats. And you hate to see any one of them drop into the water.
Yeah, and I can't speak for the current STEM. I can't speak for the current STEM principal, just because I don't think we have a sheet for him, but we do have some information about Hire, and then Firestone, Mr. Johnson.
Do we have a sheet for Firestone's principal?
We know enough about our own principal. I think we can.
We know enough about Larry to describe him. We're on a first name basis, I think. So this is a behemoth of a boat going into the water right now. They've got a big old point.
This was constructed by the STEM high school members.
Yes, I think each of the principals were constructed by the STEM high school students.
The students of the school constructed the principals' boats. Besides River Valley's in the school, their business, but we built that one.
Well, yes, the Firestone students built the board members and the River Valley boats,
along with our own principal's boat.
Yes.
So this is interesting. It's got a bit of a trow in the front of it.
Yeah, it's cool to see. It just looks cool, you know. It looks like a like a
they must
fun
have been
boat.
told they could use they're use all the materials you want, and they just came up with a creative design.
Yeah, and it's cool to see. I think the weight distribution and the saran wrap means that it'll be successful. So it's nice that they had some fun with the design. You know?
Yeah, that's for sure. We'll see. Oh wait, looks like there's 2 people in the boat.
Yes, I think there's a student going with the principal to give a little extra rowing power.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you don't see. Yeah, I'm surprised you don't see that more often with a principal or a board member, that they're sent with another person to help them row the boat, get through the course a little faster, a little safer.
Let's see here. So we've got, I believe there's 2 for Firestone and Hire as well. So
nice.
This might be a common trend. I believe the board members are putting 4 board members in at a time. So 2 or 4. I'm not entirely sure which one, but one of those options.
Yeah, you see a couple of board members over there. I know Lisa Mansfield very well, so it's she goes every year. It's fun to see someone I know.
Yeah, I believe all of her children have gone to Firestone.
Indeed,
yeah.
Indeed they have. Don't tell any of them, but I like her better. So this student principal squad is going for foam balls rather than the medicine balls.
Okay.
So this is
the first non-Firestone team. This is the first non-Firestone team to take the balls.
It may be the first non-Firestone team to go for the foam balls.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I'm a fan of the foam balls, and it adds an extra spectator element to watch them throw the balls and go for that chance encounter.
What's interesting, I just noticed, is with a lot of the other boats, we have 2 people in the water. We described earlier, Josh George and Joseph Garrow. They're in the water. Normally, they drag the boats out of the water and stabilize the boats so people can get in. Mm-hmm. They actually follow the principal boats very closely.
Yes.
So they don't get fully submerged if they do happen to go down.
Yes, they want to make sure that people who are not wearing bathing suits don't get their clothes soaked, or anything they might be carrying with them.
That would be highly unfortunate, because no one wants to walk around for the rest of the day all damp. And they made them. How many?
They made 2. They made 2 of the 3. They missed 1 shot, and it was close though. So it was a good shooting.
They might. These guys might do the best out of the principals, but
I don't know. We'll have to see. I think there are some teams coming up that can get some real speed going. They've had a methodical but good run so far, so I don't know if they'll necessarily be the fastest of the principals.
I 100% agree with that one. But they're just in the home stretch, and it looks like they're going to make it. Looks like they're going to make it all the way. And then we're going to see the higher principals up. There's going to be 2 of them.
Yeah,
2 people on the boat.
I mean, at this point, barring something horribly catastrophic, they are going to.
You're gonna make it through.
They're going to make
They're
it to the end. They've pretty much made it to the end at this point. So, next is Hires principal, and let's look at this sheet. We've got Mr. Watts and Mrs. Hurstich.
Hurstich, yeah.
Hurstich. Mr. Watts and Mrs. Hurstich. They are the higher principals. Their team name is the Cardboard Cruisers, and I want to point this out because it's fun. The boat name is Summer School. It's a nice reference to their jobs, you know. Dream college or major is stockbroker. Their dream.
There's some
job
money
is a
in that, I
stockbroker.
believe.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure
I'm sure a job that revolves around money is quite profitable.
Well, yeah, and I think
some of
there's
the time
certainly
at
a
least.
choice to pick that as a dream job. You won't go hungry being a stockbroker. Let's put it that way.
Not normally, at least. Hopefully not.
Oh, Mr. Watts. Mr. Watts enjoys boating with his family and loves to visit the ocean, so he'll probably feel right at home here.
Yeah, he will. That's maybe he's been rowing before. Maybe they'll get through this real fast. That'd be cool to see. Let's see. Oh well, they participate. Oh, in high school they participated in marching band, editor of the yearbook, National Honor Society, and they're actively engaged at higher, which would make sense considering that they're administrators.
Yeah, so that's
At least I'm fairly certain one of the at least. Wait, you know what? One of them is the GTT instructor, and I believe Mr. Watts is the GTT instructor, and
Yes.
Mrs. Hurstich is the principal.
Yeah, I know Mr. Watts. He is the engineering or GTT teacher over at Hire. So that's Mr. Watts is taking to splashing some of the high school students on the side.
Yes, he made some very exaggerated paddling moves to throw a large amount of water back at the people who placed them in the boat, which was pretty funny.
Indeed, they are getting the medicine balls for this route. So they've got the first one. They're headed to the second station now. Their boat is a little less flamboyant than the one that came before. They've got the just a basic box, but you know, sometimes that's what's most effective.
Yeah.
Let's stick to the basics. Stick to what works.
I was like a second away from correcting, saying you mean buoyant, and then I was like, no, that is not.
Although I think there is some wordplay with buoyant and flamboyant that one could make.
I agree with that. Let's see, they've got some. Well, it is sealed. It is definitely waterproof.
It is certainly waterproof. They are holding onto the dryness of the boat.
Looks like a couple layers of plastic, if you ask me.
Yes, I think they've taken to layering the plastic, which only serves to protect your boat.
Some of it dragging.
Yeah, some of it is dragging behind the boat, but I don't think it's enough to sink them. I think they'll be okay.
I definitely don't think it is.
Interesting, you'll see it dragging in the same position on both sides if you look. It's got there's probably a symmetrical design element, and both sides are starting to peel a little bit. But so far, I don't see any indication that they won't make it to the end. They may get a little bit wet in the boat there, but I think they're going to certainly make it to the end of the.
I think they'll pull through.
End of the trip.
And they're just in the home stretch now, all the way back. And if they do this fast enough, they might just get there a little bit faster than Stem did. Stem and higher. But that might be to Mr. Watts' familiarity with rowing, it seems like.
Yeah, he certainly knows what he's doing. But I definitely say that Miss Hurstich also seems to be very competent with rowing. That's I think you see a lot of people who aren't super experienced. They warm up to it when you get to the end, so that really helps them in the final stretch of completing their race.
They made it through, and that leaves the final principal, which is our own Larry Johnson.
Indeed, he's got a T-shirt on that says "Lethal Speed." I think that's what it says.
Does it say that? Oh, he's funny. He's as a principal here at Firestone, he's heavily involved with student activities. I believe he's actually helped us out in physics a couple times.
He has, yes.
Yeah,
we've done some projects that involve him, and he participated in building balsa wood bridges with the students as well.
Yes, so he's incredibly involved. He volunteers for the robotics competition, I believe.
He did. He did volunteer for that.
He has he has a heavy amount of school spirit. Oh, and he's in there with Mr. Svita.
Oh boy, that's going to speed him right up.
A history teacher at Firestone.
Mr. Svita is legendary for his strength and
yes.
and physical capabilities.
Yes, Mr. Svita is known at Firestone for just being the strongest man just around, basically. He was actually a wrestler in high school at Walsh, I believe. Walsh Jesuit High School when he was in high school, at least.
Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, you'd think he probably was, I don't know, a gym teacher at the school. No, he teaches world history to ninth graders.
He teaches world history, yeah.
He is not a typical gym teacher, as one might assume for someone who is so athletic. Although Larry Johnson is certainly no slouch when it comes to athleticism
Certainly
himself.
Not.
He participates in a lot of sports. He's actually played some scrimmages with the basketball and football teams.
Really, that's funny to know.
Yes, I like him a lot. He's very involved with Firestone's program, so it's cool that he's involving himself in a lot of ways. The boat races being one of those ways.
That's right. Now he's going to be the last one in the fourth heat, which means after this there will be 2 heats left, which is going to take up about another 35 minutes each. Yeah, each heat's about 35 minutes. So
yeah, I think we may still be pretty far ahead schedule though.
We are very ahead of schedule.
We are.
Yeah, the next heat is scheduled to begin at 12:50, and it is 12:35. So we might see another pause, possibly, depending on whether or not the board members are here right now. Because I know our initial pause was because the administrators and principals and whatnot were scheduled to get here at 12:15, and their heat was going to begin at 11:40, so we had to give them some time. But it looks like Mr. Johnson, Mr. Svita are just about to start off.
Yeah, they've got a kneeling position in the boat that may, add a little bit of tippage, but they are blazing a trail.
Holy crap!
They're grabbing the medicine ball. It looks like, although it looks like they're a little far away to make the grab. So
that's gonna kill their time.
Yeah, you've got to reposition, and they started off blazing. Let's see if they can recover with that speed a little bit. They started out going really, really fast.
I think you're gonna see them just soar across the water here.
And they're going so fast. Actually, Svita, I saw, just shoveled quite a bit of water into the boat, and it is starting to crumple, and that's not a good sign. I don't like that very much. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, he is putting water in the boat. I wonder if he realizes that's happening, because they are strong paddlers. You can see
they are
it.
paddling.
See it in their faces.
Strong. My hope is though that their speed can overcome any extra water in the boat. They are.
I don't know about that.
Blazing a trail. But it doesn't look very good though. I gotta say, it is not
looking good for Mr. Johnson, Mr. Svita right now. The sides of the boat are caving in. It is going in right in the middle, but
they are going backwards. But they've only got the last stretch. They only have one stretch left, so they might make it.
Might pull through, but
I sure hope so. Come on. It's staying up. They're splashing everywhere.
Yeah,
they're making a mess. And you can see it's buckling in the middle, but I think they're going to make it.
Through.
I think they made it.
They did. They made it all the way through. They did. They got it.
They made it.
Wow, that was
good.
close.
That feels good.
That was close.
That feels good, man.
Feels good, man. Yes, it does. That was a close one for them. Sure, that had everyone sitting on the edge of their seats.
It certainly had me on the edge of my seat.
The seniors out there. Should include me and Charlotte, of course, but
yeah. Oh boy, that was close. That was a close one.
you could. The audience was definitely excited for that. You could hear them cheering them on.
Yes, they were rallying behind Firestone's team, and I mean, man, the stands here are full. I've never seen the stands this full up there.
Yeah, they are. That is
full of
sure.
Firestone students.
And right now it looks like we have a board member team that's going up. That's what it looks like. However, it looks like there's a little bit of pause. They're getting ready.
Yes. I don't know how long it's going to take, but the boat, I don't see the boat being wheeled up right exactly now. So
yeah, I don't see them bringing the boat up, so it might be a minute.
I think we're going to cut to a break real fast. Yeah, we're going to cut to a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. So we will see you when the action resumes.
We're back with the 14th boat race, and we're up with board 1, and that includes Lisa Mansfield and Miss Lasher. This is another Firestone-made boat. So with all luck, this should hold along with the next 3 board boats, or next 2 board boats, sorry. And actually, we're subbing out a one of the Litchfield people because they're not here today. So one of our students here at Firestone is going to be subbing in for them. But that's going to be in another 2 boats from now. So
who's doing that?
Max Davis.
Max Davis, nice. He's a senior, right?
Yes. Yeah, but currently it is Lisa Mansfield in the front of this boat with Miss Lasher in the back. And we will see how this goes. And they're off. I want to see what the board members choose, between the...
Yeah, I'm interested to see the option that they take. It looks like they're going to go for the medicine ball. They're holding it out. Usually when they're doing that, they know what they're going for. So, they're grabbing the medicine ball, putting it in. And they're off to the second station.
Yep, off to the second.
This is it's going pretty well so far, although you'll see the front angled portion of the boat does not quite meet the sides, so you've got those 2 little spikes on the corners.
It's a little awkward.
Aesthetically, it's not the best, but I think it'll be fine design-wise. The water isn't really even coming up more than a few inches on the bottom of the boat.
They're going to have to shift their weight to the back so that front portion doesn't dip into the water at all, because as soon as they shift their weight forwards, that's going to go in and they're going to sink.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening.
But luckily Josh and Joe are there to make sure they don't get that wet.
Even if they do sink. Although,
they sink.
With all luck, I sure hope they don't sink.
I agree.
That is,
be a bad thing.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing a good job with weight distribution, though. They handed it to the back, so they've got 2 in the front, 1 in the back. Which actually, looking at the back, might be the better option because of how far that backside is dipping down. I mean, it is going pretty significantly
Another
into the
medicine ball back there wouldn't hurt, in my opinion. But again, they've got their strategy. They're going to make it through.
I think they'll make it through.
Yeah.
I think there's a very good chance that at this point that they make it. All the way through.
I'd say it's a very significant chance. Because they're making their way. They're finished. They got to the end.
Yes, they did.
It would be funny if they were faster than Mr. Johnson and Mr. Svita, which might be possible considering how much time they spent over at the first checkpoint.
Yes, they did spend quite a period of time. So we've got Firestone. I think it says over there Firestone Principal.
I can't read that from here.
I think they did it faster than the Firestone Principal. I can't quite make out all the words, but I think they just did that faster than the Firestone Principal did.
All right.
I think that's pretty funny.
So it looks like we've got our board 2 up next, if I'm correct, and that consists of Mr. Tim Miller and Mrs. Ginger Baylor. I believe that's the correct pronunciation of it, or it's how I spelled it going back through me saying it again. So it's some double error there, but we'll see.
Yeah. We shall see.
Then, of course, it's the last board boat before the Litchfield coach and Max Davis.
I wonder what happened to the Litchfield student. Are none of the Litchfield teams here then?
No, Litchfield's all right over there to our right.
Oh yeah.
They're after the Litchfield coach.
Okay.
It's the Litchfield coach plus Max Davis because the other the Litchfield principal couldn't be here.
Litchfield principal. Okay.
Yeah, I believe the Litchfield principal could not be here. So Mr. Whited, I believe that's the name. I think he's going in.
Yes, Mr. Whited.
Along with Max. No, I lied. It's not. Carla Sibley is going in. That might be the Litchfield. I think she's the Litchfield principal, and Mr. Whited could not be here, and he's the Litchfield coach. That sounds more accurate.
Indeed.
Because I definitely know Mr. Whited is the Litchfield coach.
Yes, I know that much. He's the GTT teacher, the engineering teacher over there. So yeah, we'll see in just a minute. But first up, we have the second school board boat.
Yes, we do, and hopefully they do just as well as the last one.
One would hope.
Is this one of the glue boats?
I think it might be. Some of the boats did have glue used to make sure that the saran wrap stayed close to its intended target of the cardboard.
Yeah. Interesting thing. Some of our senior designers decided to go with they were going to glue the saran wrap onto the cardboard, but if you know how saran wrap works, glue does not stick to it. So it's,
I don't know. The boats that have gone so far have been successful. So here's hoping for one more successful run. But
was obviously duct tape used, but
yes, it may have been an ill-advised decision to make that material choice.
Yes, you can see the glue.
Yes, there's certainly traces of the white glue that
I believe it
dry
was
fully.
I believe it was Mr. Johnson's boat that we actually had to go through and patch today.
Yes, some holes needed to be patched on that one, and I'm glad we did because they just barely made it through.
Yeah, any more issues with that boat, and they very well may have sunk.
And that is not what we're going for.
No, it is definitely not.
I'm a big fan of the angled front design, sort of like the
like a landing craft type design.
Yeah, like a landing boat. I just think it works very well to keep the boat afloat. Oh man!
Oh.
As I say that, there is water leaking into the back of that boat, and that problem is only going to get worse. Putting those medicine balls in that front corner is going to help balance that out. But
Hopefully.
But there is some serious water leakage into the back.
Well, the back keeps dipping down.
Yeah, and so water then spills in. It's getting getting deep. Oh man. Oh boy.
And this.
Oh no, that's not ideal.
Good.
This is
it's not looking good.
It's similar to the Firestone principal problem, but without the ridiculous speed that the two of them had their boat going at. It is
highly likely this might
sagging.
Oh, man, every time that goes in the water, man, it's like
my heart drops
painful.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not good. It is not good to see that happen. There is, I do not want to see either of them capsize.
They're gonna make it.
Sink in their clothes. I think they're gonna make it. They've picked up a slower pace, and the guy in the back is not shoveling as much water into the back as he was earlier on.
They're gonna make it, but they had me worried for a second.
That was certainly very worrying.
Yeah.
At the very least, that was a bit of a stressful run.
I could not agree more with that. That was probably. I don't know how I feel more stressed about, Mr. Johnson's run or this one. I think this one takes the cake on that.
This one only because
Yeah.
it was extended. Because Mr. Johnson and Mr. Svita were really, really
once
fast.
they realized they were
this
sinking, they
boat
just started to
was
move.
not as fast.
I completely agree. And now we're up with
Is this
Mrs.
the
Sibley.
Litchfield?
Mrs. Sibley. Yeah, Miss Sibley. And Max Davis.
Yeah, you'll see the Litchfield students gathered over there, ready to watch their staff take a trip around the pool.
This is another Firestone built boat. I don't believe Litchfield built that boat, considering how it looks like the rest of the.
It looks like a Firestone built boat.
Yeah, but I don't know. Some of those Litchfield middle schoolers, man, are pretty good.
Yeah, they're actually one of
building.
their robotics teams at Litchfield qualified for the world's level competition. They'll be at the World Championship this April. Later this April, actually. It's April now.
Yeah, it is April. It looks like a couple of their members are actually on the Litchfield boats team. So
Yes, I see 2 of them now. But
Yes.
yes. So that'll be interesting to watch. They've got
we'll see. See, it looks like Max is definitely prepared to fall in the water, but Sibley has
Not so
athletic
much.
wear on, so that
Yeah.
could be a little bit uncomfortable.
And I think I may be wrong, but I think she has giant pink cowboy boots on. And
No,
leather
I-
is not something you want to get into
do
the water.
not. I think that is just the color on her leggings. To
Oh, really?
Be honest. Yes.
Man,
but-
I could have sworn those were boots. Huh. Well, regardless.
Yeah, I had to take a second look also, but I suppose we'll see when we get a little
When
bit
she gets
closer.
back out, yeah. Oh yeah, when she gets closer,
Yeah.
you'll see a lot better when it's right next to us. So
We're lucky enough that all the boats pass right in front of us as they go through. So
and it's nice around when they're getting to the final leg of their journey. For me that's a really good time to see it, because you either see that they're
See the
being
fear,
successful
yeah.
or you see the fear in their
Yeah.
eyes, and either of those are at the very least enjoyable. Entertaining for the viewer, I suppose. But we've seen a lot of successful boats. Not many boats that make it to this point that are not then successful. I'm reminded of James from earlier, who almost made it to the end and didn't quite get there. But
Oh man, that was heartbreaking, James. Yeah, that was from Book Door, as I recall.
now that she's closer, I have to agree. I think that pink is part of the leggings and
Yes.
not a cowboy boot as I had initially intended.
I could understand the bit of a. It looks like almost a leathery texture far away because
Yeah.
of it's like speckled with black. Yeah.
I kind of wish it was cowboy boots. Giant pink cowboy boots in a cardboard boat on the pool sounds just like a terrible combination. And
I bet that'd be
awesome.
a first. I bet that would be a first.
I think it would be. I think it would be the first, at the very least, the first set of pink cowboy boots. But to my mind, probably the first set of cowboy boots we've had in a boat.
See, but cowboy boots are kind of expensive. And, leather doesn't really react well with water, so I don't even know if you want to bring those in the first place unless you knew for sure you'd get through. But
Oh no, it sounds like an awful idea.
looks like they will be
It's
successful.
not a good plan. They made it to the end very successfully. They grabbed all 3 medicine balls and they have successfully made it through. A lot of these like principal and board boats are very standard boat runs. There's not a lot, of. I mean, the tense ones have been really tense, but a lot of them are on boats that are so well constructed that they make it through without really much of a hitch at all.
All right, so it looks like now we're on to Litchfield Middle School Team 1, staffed by Bethany Earl, Madison Deese, Valentine Lopez, and Lily, I believe that is an A, so Wang. And they are all in the 8th grade, it appears like, so they'll be most likely coming to Firestone next year, I'd suspect. Their team name is To Sink or Not to Sink. And that is the question.
I was
And that
just
is the
about to
question
say,
today.
Nick, that is the question. To sink or not to sink? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind, I'm not going to bore you with the rest of that, but I do think that is an important question. So we'll see. That is who's getting in the boat. We've
Fun
got
fact about Bethany Earl getting in the boat. They're all wearing blue, but the one on the right specifically A fun fact that she wrote down, and I'm just saying this because this is like off the wall, says, I've caught my hair on fire twice. Well, luckily
just
we're in
not
the
very
pool
good.
today.
That's true. That's just not very good. That is not something that you want to be able to say. I don't think I've ever caught my hair on fire.
I don't believe I have either.
That is interesting.
And they're off, and we'll see if they grab the medicine ball or the foam ball.
They're going for the medicine ball, I think. Surprising. Maybe the foam ball? Nope, medicine ball. Surprising, they don't have much space in the boat. Typically, smaller boats go for the foam balls because there's just not enough room, you know?
You know what I noticed that's funny is that the person running that first checkpoint is Michelle, and when she like holds out the medicine ball and the foam ball, she holds them out like together, right? And it kind of looks like when Morpheus is offering Neo the blue or red pill, and it's just kind of funny.
I think that's potentially part of the imagery.
I would
get to
tend
choose.
to agree with that.
I wonder, can you? Is there a rule stipulating that you can't pick like 2 medicine balls and 1 throwy ball?
Once you go down the path of like the red or the blue pill, you can't switch.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Now I wonder which one. I mean, we've seen a lot of people choose the medicine ball, so would that make it the blue pill, and then the foam balls that you throw are the red pill?
I'm not sure. I don't know how to make that kind of a justification. It's an interesting topic, I think, for sure.
I believe it sounds like they're saying, one of them is saying that their arm hurts from rowing. It's like,
I can't hear a word they're saying, but I would imagine so. They're carrying around 3 people and
three
a
medicine balls, yeah.
and they don't look like
I believe they're gonna make it, but they're kind of a little unstable. It looks like they're rocking a little bit.
They're rocking. The front is dipping. The front is dipping. And that makes sense. They've got 2 people in the front to the 1 in the back, so it makes sense that the front would be dipping.
If you want to make another musical joke, sit down, you're rocking the boat.
That is indeed another musical reference.
Yes.
One to be proud of, for sure. And probably the only one you could reasonably make.
Yes, I agree with that.
So
they've made it. All right, they've made it all the way through.
They have made it. I mean, they could fail, but they're probably not going to. And they're climbing out of the boat, I think.
Okay.
This is counted as a successful run. So
Litchfield Middle School 2 is up, and they are starting our. No, they're not. It's still at the end of the 5th heat. This is run by three Litchfield students: Robert Trantham, Joseph Merliti, and Mary Paisy. Paisy. I believe so. If you have a correction to that.
Yeah, I would say. Oh man, yeah.
Maybe it's Marcy. What do you think?
I think. Whoa, man. This is some handwriting, certainly. Yeah, I mean, what is that word? Favorite SpongeBob character? It says Garg.
Gary.
Gary. Okay.
Gary. Oh, the Y just loops around. So then, yeah, it is Paisy. It is Mary Paisy. Okay, we got that.
All right. Good to know.
All right, and they are all 8th graders at Litchfield Middle School under Mr. Whited, and their team name is YMGB.
I don't know what that stands for, but
that's not even a mix of their names. Oh,
and they went down.
They went down, and that looks like that's it for YMGB.
YMGB out. Nope.
I don't know about that.
I don't know either. That is it is unfortunate, though. You hate to see a team go down so quickly. With that, however, we're about 15 minutes ahead of schedule, even still, after taking 3 separate breaks.
This is the last heat, and it's consisted of only Firestone students. So I feel like we're just going to push through this one.
I think so. We have allotted 35 minutes for 8 boats.
Up next is the here. You should read this team. I've read the last 2 teams.
I don't think this is the team that's going up now.
Yes,
They're going
it
up.
is.
It is? No.
Yeah, Jude. Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I read wrong. I was in the wrong section. So up now is a group of 10th graders, sophomores. 2 of which are going in the boat. Jude Lewis.
Is not
James. Jude Lewis.
James Scantling.
James Scantling.
Yep.
Sorry. Nick R. and Isaac Kohler will be going in the boat.
Nick Reichlin being because there's technically 2 Nick R's in the program, myself and Nick Reichlin.
Oh, that's true. You are a Nick R. I had forgotten about that. So their team name is the Big Boy Jimmies. And they are about to get in the boat. Actually, 3 of them going in the boat. Sorry, one of them.
So they're
marked, so I
leaving
assume
poor
it was a
Jude
no.
out. All right.
Jude is being left out of the boat, which, based on what he did last time he tried to get into a boat, he sunk his immediately. I would not put him in a boat again.
Yes, you would not want to run that risk. I believe he jumped into the boat and cracked it.
He jumped into the boat and cracked it in half. You don't want to run into that again.
No.
Quick note, James Scantling is actually on his sheet, is bragging about his number of Fortnite wins, claiming that he's won 600 games, which I don't
that's
quite
impressive.
believe.
That's about 2 or 3. Fortnite's been out for like a couple months. That's about 4 or 5 wins per day. That's
a lot.
Oh, that's impressive if it's true.
It is. I think they just tried to throw the medicine ball in the boat and either failed or like dumped it into the boat. That was interesting. I'll have to look when they come around, but it looked like they grabbed the medicine ball and threw it right into the water, which is not ideal. It's not what you want to be doing.
I agree with that one. And from what it looks like, they're not having too many stability issues, even though they theoretically could if they lost their balance.
No, they have all 3 medicine balls in there, so they were successful in getting that medicine ball. It just it looked a little shifty to me.
All right.
So
I believe they're going to fully make it through without any issues. But again, you never know until they actually make it, of course.
That's true. Yeah, they've got some diverse college career choices. We've got some people who want to go to MIT for engineering. James Scantling said USC for medical school, and Nick Reichlin said he wanted to go to Yale. I'm sorry, I thought that was an S. Yale Law School. So those are some ambitious choices.
Interesting, and they did make it. They did make it all the way through.
They did indeed.
So that brings us up to our next team, which would consist of Joey, Bowman, Isaac S., and Carson. They are all, once again, 10th graders at Firestone High School, led by Mr. Spak. And their team name is Swamp Ape.
Oh boy, what a name.
Yeah, oh boy is right. What a name. And let's see here. What are some? They marked some. So a lot of them marked I don't know for dream college and major, but a lot of them agreed that their favorite class was government.
Yeah, we've got some government and engineering seem to be the dominant choices for favorite class.
According to Isaac Smith, I'll just read his interesting fact about himself because he filled it out completely, which not many people do. And he said, "My name is Isaac Smith. I have brown/green eyes. I am not in the boat due to my recent LASIK eye surgery, but I like playing outside."
Nice.
So I'd
like to point out that Carson, in the interesting facts category, the question specifically is any interesting facts about yourself. He wrote simply, no.
Oh boy, these. Here's another. Joey wrote, "I'm pretty cool, maybe."
Maybe.
So
maybe not.
A man of few words.
A man of few words and a man of mystery. Maybe he is cool. Maybe he's not. So their boat should be going in shortly, and we'll get to see them run the rink.
And so our forms that we have, this is actually kind of funny. Last year our theme was SpongeBob SquarePants, and
yes.
the forms were not updated this year by accident, so we printed out the forms from last year. So the question on there is still, what is your favorite SpongeBob character? And this is the funniest one I've seen so far, which is why I haven't said it. But he says David Hasselhoff as his favorite SpongeBob character because he appeared in SpongeBob the movie in 2006, I believe.
Technically, that makes him a SpongeBob character.
So I just thought it was funny.
That is very interesting. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a delay before one of the boats is coming in, but it should be in the pool shortly.
Yeah, it looks like they're just about to put that in.
You know,
and,
if the
start of the 5th heat, right?
if
Or
the
final
sheet was
heat,
updated,
6th.
Nick, what would be your favorite character from the Matrix?
Oh, from the Matrix. Well, I like Neo, of course, because he's like the main character.
Well, sure.
But I do like the agents.
Yeah?
I do like they're kind of cool, even though they're like the bad guys.
Yeah, well,
Or the guy from the 3rd Matrix movie. He's like the old guy with the white beard, the architect.
Oh yes, the
Yeah,
architect. He's an interesting character.
Yeah,
certainly.
that's interesting.
It's not nice. It's fun to discover that the entire world you've been exploring throughout the course of these two movies have been all coordinated by this one guy, and then you get to meet him, and he's pretty much exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, you never know. This could be the Matrix right now.
It could be.
Well, you wouldn't know, Charlie.
Neither would you, Nick.
Yeah, neither would I. That's right.
So we've got this boat getting into the pool. It seems as if there's only one person in the boat, Carson. He is going to be manning the tiny, tiny little boat that they have. It's very small. I mean, it fits him kneeling and really not much else. I don't think they could even fit another person in there. And it is tipping very significantly. I mean, it is very...
His balance is a little bit off right there.
It is, yes.
There's a large cheer from the audience currently, out of encouragement. But Carson has his shirt tied in a knot. I believe that's for aerodynamic purposes.
Aerodynamic specialty, yes. I don't know. I mean, it seems weird that he wouldn't, leave it on or take it off. Like, if you go in the water, it's going to get wet either way. Maybe it's, to keep it so that splashes land on his stomach and not on his shirt. But
interesting choice for sure. And now this boat is reminiscent of like just like a box, like something you put like a mini fridge in.
Yeah, I mean, well, and the thing is that like it's not as if he sort of copped out on this design. And I say he as in the team. It's not as if the team copped out on the design. The boxes don't come in a way that could be used as a boat. It's not as if you have
certainly have to craft it into a boat.
Yeah, so the design was certainly intentional.
Well, no, if you look on it, you can see how they've actually duct taped all of the corners and all of the edges of the boat. All of the edges are completely duct taped on for maximum sealant, it looks like, and especially so that way it doesn't soak down through the layers, which is pretty interesting. I mean, there's been some other teams that have done that, but I just noticed it really with this one that all of the sides have duct tape on them. Yes,
that's the saran wrap is completely taped to the edges of the boat so that there's no gaps in the plastic and that as little water as possible leaks its way in.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting to note, I can't remember what I was going to say.
I think he needs to move back in the boat. He's like leaning forward a little bit.
Yes, I think so. He's trying to row in the front of the boat, which is not typically how one rows.
Did he take the oh no, he grabbed the foam balls.
He did, yes.
This is like the first one since like the 3rd heat to do that.
Yes. Foam balls have been very unpopular over the course of the day.
Yeah, but Carson seems to have taken the red pill on this one and gone with the foam balls.
He's one of the few, but he has chosen the
I'm interested to see if he makes his shots, honestly.
That's what I want to see. I like seeing people take the shots and see whether or not they hit or miss. I definitely think, though, that he needs to move back in the boat. He might tip out just because of his positioning. And he's trying to row in the front of the boat, and it's not going very effectively for him. He's taken some long shots. One miss, nope. 2 misses, 3 misses, all of them off of the whiteboard. He went a little too ambitious with the shooting, I think, and ended up.
Then again, I feel like that for him, the medicine balls would have been disastrous.
Certainly. Oh, no.
Oh, and he tipped in like. Oh, and he is.
He's shoveling water out of the boat. Man, if you've got enough water in the boat that you can shovel it out with your hands, you are probably a little too far into the thing. I feel like someone should give him a rowing lesson.
Yes, he's rowing in front of the boat.
Front of the boat. It is a strategy that I've never seen before, and one that is not working out well in his favor. I don't know. It's not. He may still make it. I don't know.
This is dicey. This is very dicey.
Dicey is a good word. It is certainly dicey. The front of his boat is taking on a lot of water. The back of it is just suspended in the air. It's not even in the water. He falls for a second time.
Yeah, it's almost like he's like perpendicular with or parallel with the water almost when he's like almost tipped down. It's kind of funny.
That's not good.
It's one thing you don't want to be is parallel with the water, which means you're about to sink.
Parallel with the water usually spells bad news, unless the thing that's parallel with the water is the bottom of your boat.
I agree.
He's so close.
And he's going to do it. Oh my God.
He might make this.
Unexpected. This is about just as unexpected as the longboat from earlier.
Yeah, that one really surprised me. This one, the boat, it's not as if the boat design surprises me. It is the sheer... and then
there he goes.
He takes a dive into the water at the end. He gives a
final salute before he dived into the water.
It reminds me of one of Mr. Spak's most common sayings. But he made it. I am surprised. His technique was bewildering, and he made it through. I am highly impressed. I have a lot of respect for that.
All right, and so next up we have Jared Borodkin, Luke Shaheen, Seth Chestnut, and Micah Hefner. They are all 11th graders at Firestone High School, led by our instructor, Mr. Spak. And their team name is the Dreamers.
Oh, the Dreamers. I like that name.
As I think it's in Kermit the Frog, Rainbow Connection.
Yes, that is a favorite song of some of the members of this team. I like the captain hats that they have.
They have naval captain hats.
Yes.
I agree.
I think that's a nice fun thing to include on the boat.
And Jared Borodkin was actually the only one who submitted a paper.
Man, they're blazing. Sorry to interrupt, but they are going
all fine,
so quickly.
They are speeding along, actually. And he just put the oar into someone's foot.
He did, but it's fine.
Oops. Is that Seth?
That is Seth Chestnut, yes. Seth Chestnut and Jared Borodkin. Two highly athletic boys, and they are moving very quickly.
Yeah, and according to Jared, he wants to go to Ohio State for agricultural engineering. And his favorite class is AP US History. And did they grab the balls?
They did. They got the second ball. It was actually quite interesting. They had Alex Stallsmith on the side is filling in for Jared since Jared's in his boat. And he actually did a little bit of a toss of the ball to get it in his hands because he wasn't bending down as far as someone who would be willing to get into the water. I think Alex didn't really want to fall into the water, and I don't blame him. He's wearing heavy boots. Oh, that's two.
2 for 2.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been the first person today who would have gotten a 3 out of 3. Currently, we've had a few people who've gotten 2 out of 3, but no one quite has gotten that third shot in yet.
No, they have not, and it's very exciting to see a team complete the course so quickly. I think they could very well be in hot contest.
They're contestant for the win here.
Certainly in contest for the victory of the entire event for being the fastest boat on the list. We will be completing a list of the teams that go and ranking them based on time. And at the very end, they decide to jump in the water because they like to have fun. And I think they're kind of disappointed that they didn't get to get wet.
So we have got our next team, which is Abby Murray, Cooper George, and Gabe DeFiore, all freshmen here at Firestone. Their team name is Sink and Swim. So maybe that might be an omen to their success here. Maybe they're thinking that they might not float the entire way, which is entirely possible, as we've seen a couple times today. But they do a couple different things. Most of them seem to want to go to the University of Akron. Besides Abby Murray, who wants to go to Juilliard for dance.
Oh wow, that's That is a world-renowned dance program,
It
Juilliard.
is. It's impressive.
And frankly, Akron U, not a bad choice for people who go to Akron Public Schools, seeing as how they have a very, very good chance of getting a full-ride scholarship.
So
And can't argue with free college.
it looks like Abby and Gabe are the ones getting in the boat today. Gabe, for an interesting fact about himself, put not applicable.
No interesting facts about him.
Apparently he did not think so.
The entire concept of interesting facts about Gabe is not applicable.
I got one for Gabe. Gabe was on a robotics team this year along with numerous people. 7316E here at Firestone.
E.
All the way to states. Went all the way to
They
states
did make
this
it
year.
to the states championship. And,
along with all the other students in the robotics program here at Firestone, of course.
How did Team E fare, Nick?
Team E fared it fared all right, especially when considering the performance of other Firestone teams. It did all right. It had a high skill score, at least in the state, at least for that matter. But Gabe is interested in computer science. Cooper George is interested in biology, and Abby Murray really likes her history class.
Nice. It's,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of history. I think history is a very interesting subject, especially when you're when you're covering interesting portions of history. And the interesting things that go on. So I think that's a good choice for a favorite class.
I agree. It's like it's almost like if you have like a story, except it's for real life.
It's for real. It really for real
It's
happened.
like a real story, so it's a little bit more interesting because they actually happened.
Certainly.
All right, and they're going for the foam balls this time, so they might be the first to actually get all three in, which would be certainly interesting for that matter.
They could be. They've gone for the foam ball option, and there's certainly a very high potential that they could make all three in. They've got unless they take their shots from here. If they decide to take shots from here, their chances drop drastically. I think you have to take into account the time advantage of how close you get to take your shots. They missed the first one, made the second, and made the third. What a shot!
Yeah, that
was
banked, rode on an edge, and finally went into the last box. That was impressive.
That was highly exciting. Imagine had they made the first shot and the disappointment of not making the third shot turning into, what already was a pretty epic moment of the ball hitting the ground, bouncing, rolling along the box, and then making it into the final goal.
The teammate that's not in there, Cooper George, says that he is a licensed lifeguard, okay, but for his interesting fact. However, he has, next to licensed, before lifeguard, swimmer crossed out. So he initially wrote, "I'm a licensed swimmer."
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had to have a license to swim.
I didn't either. That's probably why he crossed it out.
Maybe that's why he's not in the pool.
Maybe because he's not a licensed swimmer. You can't swim if you're not a licensed swimmer, Nick.
All right.
Are you a licensed swimmer?
I am. No, not officially.
So the team that's going up now is Team Javi, I think based on their initials. We've got Joshua Midcap, Isabel Bailey, Aiden Al-Jafari, and Tori Palmer. This is all 9th graders in the Firestone Robotics program.
All right.
And listed on their sheets, all of them said they wanted to go into some sort of science degree, whether it be mechanical engineering, programming, or biomedical engineering.
So some form of STEM degree. All right.
Yes, including Aiden's, which is...
Oh, Aiden wishes to be a video game programmer.
That is
so I'd imagine that's some C++, right?
Oh, certainly. I think there's a lot you can talk about in that regard, but you need to know programming and you need to know, the elements of good game design. But focusing on the boats, the boat has Isabel Bailey and Tori Palmer inside, and the tall walls. I think this is the least successful boat design we've seen all day, with teams with similar designs going down very quickly due to tipping. Although this team is looking to be pretty successful so far.
It looks like they've certainly made that design work.
I think they have a thicker hull, so that means that they're less likely to tip.
Yeah, it is kind of narrow. Yeah, but it's a little bit wide, and it's a little bit wide though. Like it's a little bit of an odd shape.
It is more
not-
fluid in shape than it
Yeah.
is rigid. There are curves and bumps here and there. And, you know, you don't need to be super precise in order to get your boat to do what you want it to do, but you do need to be precise then with the placement of your saran wrap. And I don't know if this team is super precise. It looks as if some of it is starting to peel, so that could be a concern for them moving forward.
So Isabel Bailey has actually taken dance lessons for 11 years.
Really, 11 years.
11
that is
years,
a long
yes.
period of time.
Yeah.
They look to be, you know,
They're going for the medicine balls this time around.
they are. They're going for the medicine balls, and they seem to be having a nice time doing this. They're having fun, certainly. Third medicine ball dropped in, and they are making the turn to go on onto the final checkpoint before they make the final stretch. Yeah, you can see some of the cardboard has started to soak through with the water there.
Ooh, I do see that. I do see that. Yeah, the duct tape is a little bit loose on the sides.
Yeah,
that's
concerning.
Oh,
that is a
the
large
plastic
piece
is
of plastic
ripping,
too.
and it looks like the water might start pouring in any second now.
I don't know. They're again. This is going to be a team that's in
Yeah,
a
it's gonna be
race
the-
against the clock
yeah.
to make it. It's going to come down to whether or not they go fast enough, and it's a question certainly of will they go fast enough, and will their boat hold?
I think their race against the clock is going to succeed.
I sure think so. I think if they were going to fail, they would have gone
by
down
now.
further. Yes.
I do find it interesting, though, that the plastic wrap ripped off in some portions of the boat, but somehow it's still managing to stay afloat.
Yeah, it's exciting to see that. To see a team whose plastic wrap has started to fall off and continues going. They don't panic. They just move and they do it well. So the only two members on this team.
There's four, but they only submitted two documents.
All right, we only have two of the applications. So on this team, we have Anya, Helen, Cyrus, and Hannah. Another Firestone team. It's Firestone teams from here on out till the end. And we shall see whether or not they're going to be able to be successful in this run.
Yeah.
Looks like we may have to wait a little bit to get their boat in the pool. It hasn't been moved over yet, but I'm sure it'll be happening sometime soon.
I agree with that.
Oh, I see where it is. They're starting to move it over, so we should be good on time. It shouldn't be too long.
It's like Jared Baradkin just jumped into the water and immediately got back out.
In a list of team name, we have team name and boat name are both not applicable for this team. So we don't really have a name to call them. Nope, literally not applicable. No answer. It says no answer next to one of them. So I'm assuming that they don't have a team or boat name. So we'll call them Team Anya, Helen, Cyrus, Hannah. Or what about AHCH? Haka? H-A-C... H-A...
Hawk.
Yeah, H-A-C-H.
H-A-C-H.
Hach.
Hotch.
Hotch. Hotch. Team Hotch.
Let's see who's getting in. Anya and Hannah.
I think this is funny. Hannah is she says that she has a cat named Booger who is a year older than her, and that she is 16, by the way.
Well, that is an old cat for sure. That is
17-year-old cat is funny.
That's impressive, and she wants to become a graphic designer. And her favorite class is digital media here at Firestone High School. They're all 10th graders, I believe.
Yes.
Sophomores.
Well, let's see if this team can graphically design their way through this course.
Well,
not good.
Anya, wants to be a artificial intelligence engineer at MIT.
That is certainly an ambitious choice. That is
certainly ambitious.
That is, I mean, if it's something you're good at, it's something you can be highly successful at. So it'll be.
The interesting fact about
good.
Anya, she gets 9 hours of sleep a night, which is something people here at Firestone get far fewer.
Oh, certainly. I average probably about 6 or 7. So 9 hours of sleep a night is a lot. That's like, assuming you wake up at 7 o'clock, that is, sleeping from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Oh, that's certainly impressive. I cannot say I do the same thing.
You probably,
A little bit early for me.
Manage that's a little early to go to bed for me. I usually don't go to bed until significantly after that. But
They have the medicine balls.
they do. They have all 3 medicine balls, and they've made it through the course.
That one thing that I've noticed, it looks like the right side, it looks like it's kind of buckling when it moves. You see that?
Yeah, the front tip, the right side, you can see that's where a seam was, where they connected some cardboard.
The cardboard.
And it's sort of bowing inwards. It doesn't really seem to be affecting them negatively, though. It just looks kind of scary. They're making it through pretty effectively, so I think you can really fault them for.
They're going to make it all the way.
They're going to make it all the way, and easily. They are, almost no water leakage to the inside of their boat. They are skimming the top of the water. So that's it's good to see. You don't always see boats that are that successful. It's nice to see one that runs just so cleanly.
I agree with that all the way. And they just finished, so they're going to get out. And then our next team is going to consist of, I believe this is going to be Andrew Morris, Nathan Ryan, Jake, and Ryan. So we have Nathan Ryan, and we also have Ryan.
Is Ryan's last name Ryan?
No, Ryan's last name is not Ryan, but he didn't submit a paper.
So we don't know what it is.
We don't know what it is. And their team name is 26 Plans.
I'm assuming that. Oh, and their boat name is Plan B. So
no, this is a SpongeBob reference. It's a very obscure All right, because in the SpongeBob movie, Plankton has his Plan Z. All right, which I believe there's 26 letters in the alphabet.
There are 26 letters.
Yeah, so Plan Z is the final plan he has, which is why they said there's 26 plans.
That is,
so they may have got this year's theme a little bit confused.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if you could even construe that as a SpongeBob reference. That seems very obscure. I know you did. I'm just. So they've gone with Plan B, obviously, because that's the name of this boat.
I wonder what Plan A was.
I do too. Nathan Ryan says that he plays with some of the best youth golfers in the country / world in his tournaments and leagues.
Oh, well, you might see him at a PGA Tour one day.
That you may indeed see him. He's very good at golfing.
Jake says he's in the IB program.
And Andrew Morris says NA to the question of any interesting facts about himself. So
I wonder if they do that purposely, or do they know that they can just kind of like leave that blank?
Yeah, I'm sure you could leave it blank, but
if we just left it blank, then we wouldn't say NA.
You wouldn't say there's nothing interesting about yourself.
No, we just skip over it. We just wouldn't even acknowledge it. But it looks like Andrew Morris and I want to say that's Jake. But it also could easily be Ryan. I know Nathan. I know Nathan is definitely not in there.
Yes.
No.
Nathan Ryan is on the side. Actually, I think that's Jake and Ryan, because Andrew Morris is on the side. If you look.
Oh, he is. Oh.
Yes. So this is Jake and Ryan in the boat. Andrew Morris and Nathan Ryan.
Oh, there's also a team of freshmen at Firestone.
Yes, they are freshmen at Firestone under the tutelage of Mr. Spak.
Yes.
Nathan Ryan said maybe to going in the boat, so obviously he's not in the boat.
No, he's not. He decided against it, looks like.
He did.
Yeah, I know Nathan's a logical person, so I guess he decided that 3 people in the boat may not be the best option.
Yeah. I think the best strategy is 4 in the boat, 4 fast riders in the boat. That's
true.
Just me, though.
Depends on the size, and looks like they're going for the medicine balls for this one. Interesting decision always. It always helps out their score.
Yeah, if you were able to carry all 3 medicine balls to term, you are able to, get some of those extra time bonuses.
Term, pregnant with the medicine balls.
Yes, you carry them to the end of the journey.
All right, let's see here. Their boat looks pretty solid, to be honest. Lots of plastic wrap. Lots
of plastic wrap. I think they kept their design small on purpose so that they could just wrap
plastic wrap.
I
think they don't have any plastic wrap on the bottom of the boat. I think that it's just duct tape, and I think that they just used all of their plastic wrap on the sides.
That might be a risky decision, I must say. I
feel like that's what they did, though, just looking at it. There's a lot of plastic wrap, so.
Yeah, I mean, it may be what they went with.
Somewhere.
Are they... Looks like they're positioning to throw the balls, but they're got the medicine ball, so they're going to turn around and go.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they're headed to the end. They're on the final stretch, and they seem there's signs of life in that boat.
They're going to make it.
As if it's going to make it, barring anything catastrophic. Probably the 5th time I've said that phrase, but but barring anything catastrophic, I think they're going to make it to the end of the run.
And they're going to make it, and the next team's going to be up, which we will get to in a second. And let's see here.
What team is next? So next we have Jared O, Max, Daphne, and Josh. Do we have papers for them?
Right here.
Yes, we do. I think we have for all 4 of them. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's
no,
so
we have it
nice.
for 3 of them.
Oh, we do?
Do we?
Right,
No,
we have all 4.
We have all 4.
So we've got Josh Penchana, Daphne Kennedy, Jared Odenkirk, and Max Newman. That N looks like an R. So their team, they are the team Big Papas, and their boat is the Big Papa. Daphne Kennedy looks to go to Vanderbilt University and study genetics. Josh plans to go to Columbia, and he doesn't know what he wants to study. Jared Odenkirk is looking at Akron and playing soccer. I don't think you can major in soccer.
No, I don't believe so.
And
But Akron U does have a world-renowned soccer team.
Akron U's soccer team is very good. Max Newman looks to go into math or chemistry as a major. So this is a team of sophomores, so they've got a little time before they need to decide. And eventually, I think Jared is going to have to come to the realization that you cannot major in soccer. Although he could play soccer, certainly.
Yes, he certainly could play soccer. Now, I believe there's 3 of them in there.
There are 3 of them, yes.
Max, Daphne, and Jared, I believe.
Yes, Jared, Daphne, and
Max.
The other 2 did not mark whether or not they were going in the boat, but I'm assuming it's Max.
Max is definitely in the boat. I can see Max.
Jared Odenkirk, another person to mark in interesting facts about his Fortnite wins. He says he has 100+ wins, making him officially a legend, at least according to him. Max Newman, facts about himself, he's Jewish.
Interesting.
So that's an interesting fact, I suppose. That's what's listed.
And let's see. Oh, we've got one for Josh. He's born in New York, and he speaks Spanish fluently, but he hates to speak English. He does not like speaking English, which, I mean, I suppose that I would also dislike having to speak 2 languages. So
yeah,
that would make sense.
Well, there's a large piece of paper that says the Big Papas on the front of their boat. Daphne Kennedy is doing her best to row this boat into the finish line. Got the 3rd and final medicine ball. Pushing off with the oars, pushing off the side of the wall. A lot of teams have been opting to push off the side of the wall. Oh, and interesting, actually, is that Max or is that Josh that's wearing the tutu?
The tutu.
Yes, the tutu.
Yeah, that'd be Josh.
It's Josh.
Josh is wearing the tutu.
There you go.
So that's an interesting decision. Luckily, their boat would not sink, or else I feel like that would be a little bit annoying.
Yeah, that would not. I feel like, I don't know. I've never seen someone wearing a tutu be submerged in water, and I'd be kind of interested to see what happened, but I feel like that'd be kind of frustrating to get submerged in water and have to deal with the tutu, a soaking wet tutu.
I agree with that.
Would it hold water?
I would certainly take it on and would weigh you down a lot.
Well, yes, that's true, but like when you get it out of the water, would the water just flood through the holes or what? I don't know.
Like a towel, I imagine, but I don't really know. I've never seen someone get in the water with a tutu. But it looks like they finished with all the medicine balls, and they're getting out right now.
Really
and the next team is coming over, which is going to consist of Luke Allen, James Spangler, Ben Michael, and Steve Johnson. I also believe this is the 2nd year this team has been around. So they were all with each other last year. They're sophomores.
And they did really, really well last year.
I believe they won. Or no, they lost by like 0.5 seconds, like half a second.
Very skilled. All 4 of them are wearing sunglasses. So
they
nice to see some flair from the team.
Their team name is FAF. Don't know what that means, but their boat name is Ka-Chow, as in Lightning McQueen from Cars. So interesting.
That'd be an interesting theme for the next year's senior class to do.
Oh, you're right. Cars.
Cars.
Or it would be boats.
Boats. Yeah, I feel like then that's just a theme about boats. You sort of lose the Cars reference.
Luke says he doesn't know what he wants his major to be, but he wants it to be computer hardware. So that sounds a lot like computer engineering to me. But favorite class, he says not principles of engineering, but he says he likes digital engineering.
Nice.
He is in robotics and tennis. And an interesting fact is he plays esports. And he says that he is better than Charlie at Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
That would be me, and I beg to differ. I actually think I'm way better than him. So, regardless, my twin was born on another day. He has a twin, and the twin was born on a different day.
That's
How interesting is that?
Yeah.
Born like 5 minutes apart, one at 11:59, the other at 12:04.
Oh, you're right.
Morning.
Yeah, that might be what
That's
that means.
probably how that worked.
Yeah. Then we got James Spangler, who not sure what he wants to do, but his favorite class is POE. And he's baseball and band, and he can swim, and he is incapable of sinking.
Incapable of sinking.
James Spangler is incapable of sinking. They're all in the boat, though, so I guess we'll see.
We shall see. I think they're going for the strategy of
Speed.
more rowers gives you a faster speed.
But I don't know. Jared Barad can really cruise. I don't think they're going quite as fast.
No, I don't think so. But if they make less mistakes, that could be an effective strategy.
That's true. Ben Michael doesn't know, but his favorite class is also POE. But he's in swimming, and he does track and cross country. And he has 3 brothers and 1 dog. And I believe he has 2 older brothers and 1 younger brother, if I'm correct. And both of his older brothers have already graduated from Firestone.
Oh, wow.
1 last year and 1 2 years ago, I believe.
Interesting.
And last but not least, we have Stephen Johnson, whose major wants to be renewable energy. And his favorite class is POE, and he participates in band, baseball, and bowling. And an interesting fact is his grandpa has a boat, so he should be good.
He should be good at this.
He should be good.
I've got a question for you. Are those cups in their boat? We've got cup holders.
They
holding
do.
Cups in the boat.
Oh, they do have cup holders in their boat.
I don't think they have anything in the cups, and if they did, I'm sure it'd be spilling all over them right now because it's starting to buckle. Yeah. But
yes,
just an interesting note. I think that is the biggest piece of flair we've seen on a boat.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to call it. It's a sort of aesthetic flair on the boat. Is it for anything?
Non-structural component. Yeah. It's just the first. Pretty major, but this is going to be the last. This is the last boat of the day.
It is, and they're concluding a successful, if slower than intended, run.
Yes.
And I think that's going to wrap up the boats competition for this year. Unless there's something else that we haven't been told about, I think that is the ending of this event. Nothing on the back.
All right, and we'll be back for a wrap-up, I believe.
So, the 14th boat race at Firestone High School, the second annual boat race, has concluded, and we have the top 5 finishers that we're going to announce for you now. In 5th place is the River Valley Boat, our sponsor, with 1 minute, 42 seconds, and 69 milliseconds.
Yep, and then our next one is going to be a boat consisting of James, Isaac, Nick, and Jude with a time of 1 minute, 29.59.
In 3rd was the Firestone Principals, a team that stressed us out pretty greatly with 1 minute, 29 seconds, and 26 milliseconds.
And then in 2nd, once again, for the 2nd year in a row, Ka-Chow at 1 minute, 21 seconds, .87.
And in 1st place, the Dreamer team with 1 minute, 17 seconds, and 9 milliseconds.
Thank you all for stopping by, and I'm Nick Raymond.
I'm Charlie Gruler, and thank you for tuning in to the boat race at Firestone this year.